Get the words there. Man, that sounds like a combo that need to be hit by more folks.
Every day I slept, I made sure that I found a way through a cloud of haze. Every day I wept, found how to live through all them cloudy days. You know the mind's a maze with all its mixtures. It's always hard to get the entire scope of the picture. 1080p, that's you other busters, yeah, obsolete. Can't fuck with me, excuse my French, but I'm not discreet. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I've learned my lesson. I've learned 1996 birth, one of the greatest weapons untold. I'm destined to reach heights thought I could never see, but foolish thoughts rampage my heart and let me not reach the peaks that's entrusted to me. My belief shatter of past actions I grieve, but grievance never really matter. It's how I choose to act differently in the coming battles to overcome my limitations and get out my shadow. But it's hard to wade in this water, but it was never shallow. Fuck it, let me get the paddles. Fuck that now, let me get this castle. Fuck that now, let me get this battle.
What to do, everybody? Squad Nero back up in this thing again with another episode for y'all. We got episode 96, aka season 3, episode 52, if you're counting from that angle. We are back again. Sorry about the hiatus from last week, but you know the Super Bowl was going on, a lot of things was in motion, and we just couldn't get to y'all. But we coming back with y'all to make up. We're coming back today to make up for the lost time that we had last week. First and foremost, how's everybody doing?
Doing good, man. No complaints.
Bad Bunny turned up on that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
It was a good Super Bowl. A halftime show. Not a good Super Bowl, but a good halftime show.
Yeah, Super Bowl.
Yeah, facts. Terrible game.
All I gotta say is y'all better be glad I am censoring myself on the extra stuff I do want to say about the whole Super Bowl halftime show and the extra stuff that went on.
Boys
Yeah,
was
you know,
boys was saying it beat me.
I got an inquiry with T. You must be isolated like a mug.
Nah, I got a lot.
That nigga in the soundproof room.
Yeah, for real.
We do not tap into that kind of stuff. We only talk about pop
There
culture
we go.
content. We about to have some fun.
There we go.
He in the bunker right now. All right, though. Real quick before we get started for this joint, just some honorable mentions I had, and then if anybody else from the pod got any, then we could go over them. But Crimson Desert, they just dropped some new gameplay. If you've been tapped into that game, some more elements. It's almost like a Sims kind of level of creation that they got going on in Crimson Desert. You can farm all that jazz, so tap into that. New Absolute Superman and Absolute Green Lantern have been released as of last week. Absolute Catwoman and Absolute Green Arrow, are releasing in May 2026 allegedly. I believe that actually got verified from one of the authors being interviewed, I believe, for the Absolute Universe. I could be wrong though. So we're just
Wait,
gonna
what
say
happened?
allegedly. Supposedly, Absolute Catwoman and Absolute Green Arrow got the green light to be releasing in May 2026.
I didn't even see that.
I gotta
Okay.
check. Let me
Yo, so this ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, it's a 6-issue
I mean, I
limited
kinda
comic book
figured.
series set in comics scheduled to release.
Because if we being a buck with you,
Where you see
even
that, Rob?
after the main story, yeah, send a link if you got one. But even after, while he looking that up, even after it sound like even after the main story possibly can conclude, they gonna figure out a way. I mean, we know Darkseid ain't going away forever. So do they just figure out a way to keep this world in play while he kind of processes the L? Because we know L got to come down the line somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see exactly where they're saying it at. I'm pretty sure it was an interview with one of the authors, though, saying that it was going to be like a limited series for both. I could be wrong, though.
Was it Scott Snyder? Was that who it was with?
I just checked his Twitter. I didn't see it.
All right.
Okay.
It's saying that it's verified, but they ain't putting no goddamn links. So I don't know if it's real or not.
Hopefully, because we love the absolute content that's been coming out.
We'll figure it out and
that's
then come
great.
back. And then if it is true, then we'll come back and verify, go over our thoughts on that. A new Ultimate in-game issue has released as well. If you've been tapped into that, that's basically like the absolute series for Marvel right now. Um, Another honorable mention: how fast that man Ian McKellen got up out that seat to play Magneto when he was asked to play it. On what show was that?
Bruh. Yes. I know.
That man still spry for his age.
Mm-hmm.
I told you.
Hopefully,
Yeah, he got it.
hopefully
Hopped
we
right
can
about
grow
that joint.
right about that joint. Like his knees ain't aching. It's crazy, but shout out to him, and that deserved an honorable mention by itself. JJK Culling Games has officially started on the anime side. I believe they're taking a hiatus this week, and then they're coming back on the 26th.
Yeah, I saw something like that.
If I'm not
I thought it was
mistaken.
this week, but no, it's next week.
Yeah, I mean technically it did start this week because I
Right, they
mean
went
this past
in.
week. Yeah, they went in,
Right.
but they're gonna do more. Higuruma, I believe, is getting introduced the next episode too, which is a fan favorite amongst a lot of
Yeah.
JJK fans. So
Yes. Yeah.
looking forward to that. There was also a new look at Sophie Turner, who is playing Lara Croft in the new Tomb Raider series. We don't necessarily. I mean, you can if you want. I got the link in there, but it's up to you.
Uh,
I thought she looked
Yeah.
pretty decent.
Sophie Turner, yeah, not too bad. Y'all can look it up. It's on everywhere. X primarily is where I seen it at, but she don't look too bad. She don't look too bad. I would have thought Tomb Raider would have little had this might come across as crazy. I thought Tomb Raider was just gonna have a little bit of body, just like I would assume.
I get
Thor
what you mean.
will
I
have a
know.
little bit of body too, but beggars can't be choosers, and she still looks like she's good for the role. So
Because Angelina Jolie was Tomb Raider too, right?
Yes.
But she ain't really got no. She ain't really got no body like that.
Nah, but it's
At the
Angelina
time,
Jolie,
at the time,
so
you're right. Because at the time, that was considered little body. Now,
yeah,
half these
right.
women got asses as big as a coffee table. So is I guess
yeah.
you know Sophie Turner is a little slim on the backside, but she
It
looked
is.
decent.
It is what it is.
It's not about her figure. It is about her character as the character.
Yeah.
Nah, it's for sure about figure though. Because no, you know what? I'm gonna say something real quick because we say it might not be about figure. Chris Evans, Zac
Hold on. In the words
Efron,
of Day Day, it ain't your beauty, it's your beauty.
oh hell, but we got these male action stars claiming they eat so much chicken breast they gotta blend it to get the protein in. Shorty could have did 1,000 squats a day if she's getting paid all this money to play Tomb Raider. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, in her defense, it may not be that she being asked to. Like
Nah,
they don't ask the people who play characters to do that anymore. Like the only one that I know for a fact is very consistent on that is Zack Snyder. He will literally put you through his own camp. He got a military guy
yeah.
who, you know what I'm saying, who is his trainers for his actors. Like he really cares about that.
I would if I was a director. Excuse me, Sophie, can you get a little more ass, please?
We got a squat instructor here.
Don't cancel us, y'all. We just joking.
All right.
Yeah, it's jokes for them, but me, sometimes it can be serious.
He's like, no,
Bro,
I'm serious.
T is in a soundproof room. He about to be in rare form today, y'all.
All right.
We might need the out of town visits more, just so you could get yours, get everything off. Pause if needed.
That's a fact.
Trust me, everybody is in the same room as me, so no.
All right. So let's start off the pod. Got a new trailer this week. Oddly enough, from a Sony based. Or is it Sony or is it It's Sony, right? Sony's at the helm of this.
Yeah, Sony, I think.
Spider Noir show coming out on Amazon. We got the trailer. If y'all want to pull that up, we're gonna live react to that and then get y'all thoughts on this. Y'all might get a surprise.
How you got to
reaction.
handle that? Not me.
We got you already. Let me get it in full. Oh no, hold on. I gotta get it out of full screen first. All right, share screen.
Make sure to click to share audio.
Where you do that at?
It's down at
Also
the bottom,
share
like
tab
when you
audio. Yep.
share, when you share, yep.
Did it do it? There we go. There we go.
All right. How y'all feel about that trailer?
Feel pretty decent.
I liked it.
I'm very interested.
Rob.
Okay, out of everything that's come out that you've had a critique about, this the one where you go, I just don't know.
I really
So
don't.
many,
I really don't.
so many things came out that I would have been like,
hold
yeah, I
on. And
feel
for all
you.
people to say this is going to be interesting, granted, I've been told I hate everything, and that's why I give everything a lower rating, and I don't want to see anything do great and have fun with it. Now, out of him, I said it's going to be interesting. I'm being realist.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Personally, it just didn't. It didn't interest me one bit because it was so hard to try and get a beat on the story of what they're trying to convey with this. Like, okay, it's a completely new character. It's Ben Riley, cool. Like comic book wise, we know the importance of him, but what's the importance of him in this facet? Like, we already got, and it's a reason why one would assume that Ben Riley's comics and all the other Peter Parker clone comics didn't do well because they could just potentially be non-interesting characters in the same realm as like a Peter Parker or Miles Morales. So for whatever reason, it's I guess it's cool. I'm interested to see what it is, but I don't, and it's Sony too, so I want to hold my breath on it.
But this has been in development for how long?
Couple years.
Couple years.
For a minute though, right? Longer than like 2 years.
It don't matter. What I've realized as of recently, it don't matter how long Sony works on some shit. If that shit is not Spider Verse, that shit is liable to be.
You gotta be, you gotta be caution. You gotta have some caution.
That niggas could have worked 2 decades on the project, and it could still come out and be ass somehow, some way. So I don't care how long it took them, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe that they probably just did the trailer how they did for a specific reason. Keep everything low key. There's gonna be a lot because then you got Spider-Man Brand New Day coming out around then too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, they got Spider-Man though. Those other projects they had were Spider-Man's villains and Madam Web. So it was like, how do you tell their story without
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man?
Yeah.
So this one, I mean, it is gonna be different. They got a 60-year-old Nick Cage.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have been my first choice for this, but you should do all right.
Yeah, it's so much of a side story. That's where I feel like is like that's kind of the saving grace in it. You already kind of going into it. It's not like you're going into it with the expectations that you would for just Peter Parker Spider-Man, or even, to be honest with you, a Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The whole Ben Riley thing, it can pan out. I think what happened was there was a lot of draw from the Into the Spider-Verse or whatever one had all of the Spider-Man in it, and this is one of the characters that had a really big pull. The Hobie Spider-Punk, do not be shocked if you see something probably more so animated, but I do not be shocked if in like a year or two you hear about Sony doing a project with Amazon to kind of rival.
Well, they're already working on something with
Kaluuya,
Hobie because Daniel Kaluuya said he's trying to push that so that that can become a thing.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
I think
scared
it
of
will.
too, though. That's what I'm scared of too. Sony just be quick. Oh, fans love this. Let's double down on it.
Maybe, and I do
If they
understand
keep
that.
it animated, will you feel a little bit better about it, Sage?
If they keep it animated and generally have around the same team that's works on the Spider-Verse, I have a lot more confidence in it.
I think it'll probably end up being something like that. Like you don't have an animated fit for TV series or show related to the Spider-Man entity that you have. So I think that may be a good way to do it. You got the live action with Spider Noir. You have the animated with Spider Punk. You covered two of the largest interested characters from the into the Spider Verse series franchise, outside of course Miles Morales and Spider Gwen. Yeah, they did such a bad job with the villains, right? I
Terrible.
want to give them a little bit of grace and understanding something that a lot of people understood and was saying and mentioning before, which was why don't you just focus on the Spider-Man characters and try to tell stories with them? Because it's not you can't really do anything cohesive with Peter Parker. I don't know whether that's necessarily because of the direction that Marvel is using the character or their own just ill judgment, but it's the reality of what we've gotten. So that whole experiment that we had with Craven and Madam Web and all of that, it looks like this may be the start of them putting that behind them and moving forward with a different strategy. So I want to give them a little bit of grace in that regard.
What I'm curious is they're gonna be facing a gauntlet in regards to superhero shows. You got your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man coming out sometime
Yeah.
next year. You have Invincible release in March, and then you have The Boys right after, or technically concurrent with Invincible in May or April. I'm sorry, April.
And they pushing towards the end of the year.
April. The Boys is ending May
No,
20th.
not the boys in Invincible, but Spider Noir.
Are they pushing it? I don't think so. They
When
can't.
is it supposed to? I didn't catch that part in the trailer. When is it supposed to come out?
May 27th.
So it would be after both the boys and
Both The
Invincible.
Boys and Invincible.
Yeah, that's a little people. Because the worry there, at least what I'm thinking is the worry there is what they did. What Amazon would have had is probably going to leave people with higher expectations going into Spider Noir. Then, so if it doesn't meet those expectations, to your point, that might it just doesn't help. Sometimes
So-
we see this in music all the time.
And they are dropping all episodes. I'm sorry, real quick. They're dropping all 8 episodes May 27th.
Well, my thing is this.
Noir?
Okay,
Yep.
so Noir drops May 27th, right? The Boys goes
Until
When's
May
that,
20th.
March?
It ends May 20th.
and then May 20th. And then we got Invincible before that. I'm okay with that lineup because it's like you get heat, and then you get a test trial for the summer to see how this goes.
Yeah.
You don't want to put that in between because some people might be like, I'm not
Yeah.
going. You got heat, and then you got a test drive. I'm okay with that because that test drive, you're dropping it all at once, and you get to see what the views are looking like. That kind of the way they're lining that up, it works fine. It worked fine.
Yeah, I don't think that there's necessarily any problem with it. But see, you also, in this case, you likely have a lot more patience than I think a lot of other fans could potentially have. And that's kind of bro, a lot of people just really negative when it comes to things, and they kind of spoiled. If I got this level of quality, then I want this level of quality on the next project type of gig. I don't necessarily have that expectation, but I know that there's a lot of people that do or
You should.
tend
Humans
to.
gonna compare. They gonna compare, and then
Yeah.
if we know how Invincible and the Boys is ending this year, on top of that too,
Damn.
like Invincible is going through some crazy stuff. I don't know what they're gonna. Oh, Conquest coming back and Thrag being introduced, and then you got the Boys ending. Like that's gonna be some heavy hitters to try and compare, and people is going recency bias. People gonna be comparing them. It could come
Well,
out
at the end
great.
of the day, yeah, they're going to compare, but my thing is, I feel a little bit more confident with Spider Noir in this case because it's a test drive. It's not like they're dropping it in between two heavy hitters.
Yeah.
that people
I
love.
get what you're saying. I think you just have more patience than like I think the fact that you could say that sentence is more than a lot of people can say and say, okay, yeah, and I'm gonna be okay with that. People just like that for some reason right now. They'll be like, well, I don't expect this to be that, or I wanted this to be on the same level as what the previous thing was, and it's like it's not. That's you're not necessarily gonna always get that, and it's multiple studios is working on this. But see, like even me having that much process of it is something that I'm not sure is the case with a lot of. I wouldn't necessarily say the majority because that's a very complicated thing to determine, but there is a basis out there that does kind of have that judgment. But I think that what you said, T, is very rational. And I'm not trying to diss people, but I kind of am with this point. I don't know how much the rationality occurs with everyone.
Yeah, because it's like if depending on if they would have dropped Spider Noir first, then Invincible, then the Boys, then I would have an issue with that because like you're testing us and it's gonna make us not want to watch those shows because I'm just gonna wait until they're done, then binge them later on in the year, which will not help with the Nielsen views of the series that's happening. So
I
get
think
your
this would have
numbers
been a
up,
great time.
and then here throw a test in there, boom.
I think this would have been a great time to release. Like right now, like if they released all those episodes this week, I think this would be a great time. You don't got anything going on. You don't have too many big name animes going on outside of like the JJK, maybe a Sentence to Be a Hero, depending on the audience or anything like that. It's been a while since we had any comic book related stuff, if I'm not mistaken, right? Have we had any comic book related?
No, but I can make the same
Oh,
argument
Wonder
for the
Man.
time.
Oh,
Yeah,
Wonder
Wonder
Man.
Man. That was. I can make the same argument though for the time that it actually is coming out
Hmm.
because it's like outside of Wonder Man, which would at that point been like what 5 6 months or 4 5 months apart from it.
Hmm.
It's kind of like on a hill as far as I can. Well, no, is Supergirl coming out at that time in May?
Supergirl is coming out around that time too. Supergirl and Spider Man both summer
Yeah,
movies.
Supergirl kind of took the shine out of May
I feel like
because
Rob is right though. If they released it at this time, they released all Wonder Man episodes, cool. Then
Hmm.
it was like, okay, that was an unexpected surprise. And then we
then if
had
you get another one,
another. I mean, shit, ain't like football going
I
on. Like
get
nobody
it.
worried about nothing else. It was NBA All Star Week. Bam,
Yeah,
you
that
can.
already that's over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not
And
saying that
plus, it's
everybody.
still cold too. People still more inclined to be in the house in comparison
Exactly.
to being outside during summertime.
I
So
mean, any time is really good to release it though. If you like T said, if you wait until after the heat from the boys and Invincible, and you drop this and it's heat, it's like cool. You dropped it at the right time. But I mean, I don't
It
think
all depends on the
if
quality.
you slipping
yeah.
up, niggas will nitpick that shit to fucking death.
Yeah, that's my only I agree with Sage in that sense. Like that's my only worry is that it's I now again I think that the rationale you have, T, and the expectation level that you have at this current point is a very fair one. I just don't think that there's gonna be as many people who have that ability. And to Sage's point, it's going to be compared and it's going to be judged based off the most recent thing that came out as well.
It's not
It's
fair
not
to them
necessarily
either.
fair.
It's not fair to
Yeah.
them. It's far from fair to them, but that's just how society operates. You know, you got good and
Yeah,
all that.
it's one of the things that I hate because they kind of suck the joy out of just experiencing something new,
New.
pause if needed, but experiencing something new and then seeing maybe where hiccups exist, but also where opportunity may also exist. We don't really get that anymore. Like that's why so much stuff just get canceled so fast because if it doesn't get the reception that the studio was anticipating and with the vitriol that we bring to it, it doesn't help things. It just does not. I don't know. It's not. But it is to your point, Sage. Sadly, it's just the reality of the world we live in currently.
Hmm. I also forgot to ask. Did anybody have any honorable mentions?
Nah.
No.
I
Like for
do want
what?
to talk about anime. That's the only thing that I will say is at some point I do want to review at least this season because it has been some good anime in this season.
It has.
So yeah, we should. It's been a while since we had like one of them.
Is Hell's Paradise going on right now?
Yeah, it is.
Hell's
It
Paradise. You
is.
got Fire Force. You got JJK.
Fate
You got
Stay.
Sentence to Be a Hero.
Yep. Fate
Yeah,
Stay is listen,
Yeah,
it's got some
Fate
of the
Stay is
best.
crazy.
Yeah, it's got some really good animation to it. It's kind of in the realm of one of the animes we talk about.
is that a new
Just
joint?
saying.
My thing is
Not
with
just
Fate
series
Stay,
has
there's
been
so
coming
many
out.
daggone different versions of it that
I know.
it kind of like, I'll wait till it finish up and I'll watch all in one shot.
It's fine. I get that. Cause it is. It's and some and I'll be honest, see, another reason why I get that is if it's been a while since you watched it, some of the lore elements you may want to revisit.
It's the same thing over and over again.
No, they brought it's different. This one is different. It's this is I know they typically got that same formula. It's a different formula, which is new. It's like a new thing with this specific version.
I'll be the judge of that when I get a chance to watch it.
You'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. It's some they did some things. It's they kind of advertise it as being different, like early on. Like you learn really early on. It's like it's not your typical. What do they call them? It's not a tournament, but it is a tournament. Holy Grail War. Sorry, there it is. It's not your average Holy Grail War at all. So, but you'll find out.
Yeah, I'll find out.
He don't believe me. He like, bro, I've seen this too. To his defense, though, he not lying.
I've
It's
watched
like
4
yeah,
or 5
like,
different
yeah.
iterations,
and it's
and
all
read the
the
manga.
exact same thing.
It's the
I
same
know.
thing. Saber's my favorite character.
I know,
There's
but
only so much Saber I can watch.
they did it. It's a little different, interestingly different. But it's I've watched them too, and I'm
I
telling
got
you,
one
it's
question: Is Saber back in it?
Which one are you talking about? The Joan of Arc?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
no.
Okay, maybe I'll give it a watch because he's been in every last one of them.
Can I tell you? Can I tell you this?
Sure.
Dang, no, I don't want to spoil it. Let me see. Hold
Go
on. How do
ahead
I do
and
this
say
without
it.
spoiling it?
Go ahead and say it.
There are. Okay, so we like several episodes into it, and normally we would be introduced to like the vast majority of the characters. Like we probably met about half of them based off the setup that they have. And I'll tell you this, they've introduced every single one of the like levels, like Saber, Berserker. They've introduced all of them, and we still haven't met. We've only met like half of them this far in. And they just remember what I said. They introduced all of them. Just keep that part in the back of your head.
I'll watch it.
All right.
Chance. I got you.
Okay.
I'll give you my honest review. The first one I watched was fire, but then
It's a lot of repetition. It's like
Yes.
JoJo. I get it. It's like
Yes.
JoJo.
Yes.
It's just a lot of repetition.
No.
I love JoJo.
I love
But
JoJo, but every episode makes me
JoJo's
very
a lot of
uncomfortable because it's always
repetition.
something different. It's always something different.
It
that makes
is,
me uncomfortable.
but like we still had like 3-4 Dio seasons where it was like I like it. I enjoy it. I enjoy JoJo a lot. But you gotta admit there was a lot of repetitive during the
Very
Dio
repetitive.
days. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. It's I know what you mean because Fate is
Dio.
like that. Oh my god! All right, we gonna end up look Sage. We will end up going on an anime tangent. Let me just let you keep going. I'm sorry.
No, you good. Also, just to bring up honorable mention for the manga too, JJK Modulo. Good Lord, have mercy.
God, yo,
They've been cooking.
Did you all the way caught up?
I am like 2 chapters behind.
And that's heat. Them when you read them 2 chapters, just straight heat. Oh my!
We will get a modulo.
You caught up, Sage?
Yeah, we will
Bruh.
get a modulo. At this point in time, we might as well just wait until the series ends. Supposedly, it got like 3 issues left. I think.
Yeah.
Oh
Next
my
3
gosh,
issues
really?
are all color pages, if I'm not mistaken, too. So,
And they must be cooking. It must be long chapters because it don't feel like 3 chapters left.
right? Yeah. So hopefully, we might as well just wait until the end.
Yeah, that's fine.
If it comes out with this next
Bro.
chapter, because this next chapter, yet to release yet, is gonna do a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah, it has
story
to.
of where it goes in the future of JJK, so far. So if it's something that's super like duper important, me and me, Croco, and Nino will probably come together and be like, "Yo, we got to figure out a way to get a video out for this." But if you haven't tapped in
Yo,
yet, tap into it, please, please,
yo,
please,
yo.
please.
That expansion,
Ooh,
Yo, Rob really spoiled it in the group chat. I'm like, okay.
bro.
I did.
Yeah, remember you put the well for me because I ain't
You
caught
put
up.
the picture of it.
Oh, my bad, my bad.
Didn't
My
even
bad, my
think
bad.
about it, but
It was
listen,
beautiful art, dog. I was looking at it like, God damn, this look good.
I was
bro.
like, well, there goes my excitement.
Now, you still gonna be
Yo,
excited.
and you
still
know what
gonna
I
be
like
excited
is
about
that it took like thinking about the first fight, right? I'm like, bro, he really came a long way, bruh. Even he said it. The same thing he was saying in the chapter was my same thoughts, bro.
that boy is a demon.
Bruh.
If you haven't
He,
been tapped
bro,
in,
like
tap
he literally
in.
stronger than everyone that I've seen.
The strongest at this point now. We ain't gonna spoil who, but
Yeah, we won't go no further than
if
that.
you tapped into JJK, you already know who it was. They was foreshadowing this back in JJK, so you already know what it was. All right, so let's get on what we got. Wait, anybody got any shout outs for any manga? I know Kagurabachi's still going out, Dan still going out. I got
It was on break this week, right?
Kagurabachi.
Yeah.
I had to tell you, I'm not
Wait,
gonna lie.
wait.
I haven't even caught up to
Hold up, though.
Kagurabachi.
That might have been. Oh, listen.
It's going
How
crazy.
far? Where did you stop?
When they were, I can't remember when he met his other homie that joined the group, and his father was an evil villain, and they had to stop him. I'm literally right after that.
Bro, listen to me. Start reading this again.
I see very good things,
Bro.
man.
Bro, start. If that's where you stopped at,
Yeah.
I didn't think that they was going to put it like this. You going to get like I guess what is a filler, but it's not really like a filler. Then we just off for the races. Like I did not think the series was going to move this fast.
Okay.
And it's like you interested
Like
because it's bruh.
like close to the end fast.
If like here's what's dope about it. The what you expected to more or less be the ending of it, which still could be the ending of it. And we've seen other manga and anime like this. But what could seem like the ending of it, or what you would have expected, is happening. But at the same time, it's not the ending. It's almost like Naruto during the war.
Okay, I got you. Where it was kind of like a mystery villain that came out, or something like that, or some type.
But take away, but here's the cool part: take away the mystery.
Oh,
Yeah, bro, start reading it again.
okay.
Start reading it again, bro.
All right. Oh, so we gotta tap into that. I know Chainsaw Man still dropping. I haven't tapped into that manga in quite some time.
I haven't. Have y'all read?
Did y'all watch the Reza arc?
No.
Yes, I did.
Bruh.
Did
I'm
That was
gonna say
crazy.
this. I'm
When
gonna
did they drop it on
say
Anime?
I'm gonna say this real quick. The first 40 minutes was very slow. But
Yes.
then once Reza showed up, and
Yeah, it was
started
crazy.
off, I can say this. I'm gonna say this one line, not one line, but one situation. Soon as she bit this dude, that's when everything just went whoof, and I was here for it. I was here for
Was
it.
that back? Was that at the little base part?
That was
No,
right before he
before
that was
that,
right
yeah.
before he went to the base and she
Yep.
was hunting him down. Right
Yo, it
before
was
that
terrifying.
point, I'm sitting
That
there-
base scene was terrifying, bro.
Bruh, so it was like I'm watching and I'm like, and I'm not gonna lie, I dozed off on the first 40 minutes. Like maybe the first while I was doing the 40 minutes, maybe like 15 minutes before it happened. My eyes opened up on that specific part. She bit this man and he just like drowning in blood for a second.
Yes.
And that's when I was like,
yeah. That was where I know exactly what you're talking about. That was
we got
everything
hands.
from that part was like
We
was
got
legit terrifying.
hands.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
Dingy. We got hands.
Yeah, bro. And then the end with the alley,
I ain't gonna lie, I teared up. I wasn't ready for that. Because
bruh. It was good. Yo, I wanted to read it after
He
that.
just wanted to talk to her. He just wanted to talk to her one more time.
I haven't read Chainsaw Man, but I'm not gonna lie to you. That made me want to start reading it. I still kind of been there because I've heard things about the readings. Have you heard about the manga?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's why I was kind of like,
But my
the
thing
movie
is
really
like,
made
yo,
it hard.
he just wanted to have one more conversation with Shorty.
I know.
One more
That it was
conversation.
good. The writing was good.
I ain't gonna lie. Like my whole thing was, I didn't like her during those 40 minutes, during those last like 35 minutes of the anime of the movie. But then when it got to the last 5 minutes, I'm like,
Oh, but yeah,
he
yeah,
wanted one more combo with her. He was like, meet me here at the spot. Meet me here.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I said
Standing
it was
outside the spot. I'm
yeah.
like, come on, son. Didn't you just want to have one more conversation? Even though him and Maki is supposed to be in game, which probably ain't gonna happen. She probably gonna try to attempt this, man. This is my. I'm gonna give you my thought. Maki's gonna try to kill him. Denji's gonna get tight because he thought that he had some eternal love for Maki.
Have read that part.
This is my prediction for the pure ending of Chainsaw Man, and he's gonna end up bodying her. It's gonna be a big giant fight. And Power and Homeboy, like everybody's gonna be on Denji's side some way, and it's gonna be the power of friendship.
You didn't read it,
No,
yo. Not gonna lie to you. Some elements
is my prediction like somewhat there?
Yeah, dude. But I tell you this much: the prediction that relates in some parts, not all, of what you. That's where I stopped reading. It's so much more afterwards. Like not even holding you. If you went and started reading where the movie left off, you wouldn't be scratching the surface. Seriously.
I know it's like 200 chapters.
Yeah, and that like, bro. And for me to be ignorant of the series, and I only read like up until the part that kind of related to the comment that you just said, dude, like it's crazy to think how much more happened. That's why it's like it's weird to me how the manga is so the way that it is because they've already started doing an anime for this, and it's really confusing to me how that's going all. I don't know, bro. It's weird. It's weird that anime or manga to anime translation for Chainsaw Man. I don't know what that's going to look like. I think that's why they taking so much time on it. Probably wrong about that, but I don't know. It's really weird. It's probably the weirdest I've ever seen outside of like a graphic horror anime or manga. But when you think about it, how many graphic horror mangas actually make it to anime? I can only think of like one.
Another.
No, it's like, okay, so I tell you this. Another, Gantz. The first two that come to mind. I'm sure that's not the only two, but like.
And I'm gonna say this when it comes to another. If you like,
oh, what's that one
Final
with that
Destination?
girl?
If you like
Elfen
Final
Free.
Destination, watch Another.
Another is
Final
great.
Destination mixed with middle school. But
Yeah, it's crazy. It is. It's crazy.
Happens. It starts off.
I might rewatch that.
First two episodes, it's 12 episodes straight through. First two episodes is a little bit like of a slow burn, but then once it picks up, it picks up.
Would you put Elfin Feed in that category? I think that would.
Yes and no. Yes and no.
I can see that answer.
Elfin Light or ends off like very cutesy.
Yeah.
This one, and I don't even think Elfin Light really ended. It didn't seem like it ended. I think it probably
It's
got
weird.
stopped, sort of like Dead Man Wonderland in a sense. I gotta read through it.
Yeah, it had that energy. I know what you mean. But yeah, Chainsaw Man, I don't know how that's going to be. I just don't know. From what I've been, because I haven't read it, but from what I've kind of seen leak on Twitter and from what I've been told, it's going to be a weird one. I had a question for y'all, anime related. This is the last one I have. Are y'all still reading? Because I never did. I don't think D ever did. Are y'all reading Dan still?
Yeah.
How is that going?
Good. We're getting some much needed. Is the word exposition? I don't think so. Much needed information in regards to the greater Dan storyline and like the main big bad, I guess you'd say. I'm thinking this might be the main big bad out of the entire series. Ooh. I could be wrong, but we're getting fairly close to that eventual. So right now it's just building up to that eventual fight.
Okay. How long do you think before we get to that, like, where we get introduced to this character who you're describe it?
haven't. We technically already been introduced to him.
Okay.
He's technically been in the fray and everything like that. Um, I don't. I haven't read the most recent chapter, but I don't think it's too far from now. Like things are ramping
Oh,
up. If
What
you
was
don't,
he introducing during the anime at any time?
yeah, that's what I. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'm thinking. I don't think so. Not yet.
How
Not yet.
long do you think before we start getting kind of the rumblings of that in the
See him?
anime?
I gotta figure out. Hold on. Let me look up these arcs real quick. Also, another one, Gachi Yakuda. If you haven't been tapped into that manga, tap into that one. That's been going.
I
That's been going
haven't, but after
great.
anime.
That's been going
So
good
now
too.
I want to see. Not, I was thinking about it. I was like, because sometimes I like to just wait for the anime. Sometimes I just do. Like that's why I haven't read Dan to Dan because I really enjoy the anime. And Gachi Yakuda is like that, where I really enjoy the anime. So I'm like, I don't know, but I was the way that this season of Gachi Yakuda ended. It's like it's too interesting for me not to. That's how I'm feeling about it. I need to do. I don't know. Oh, I already did. I did a review. Check it out on our page. But Undead Unluck. That kind of made me feel that way too. Where it's like it's just mysterious enough where it's making me kind of want to go read the manga of it. But I don't know. Yo, I ain't gonna hold you too. Out of the new stuff, T, I still gotta go back and catch. Well, not go back, but catch up on what's our joint?
Marshall King.
Boy. Yeah, Marshall King. I still got to go catch up on that. They had like a nice break, and that's where I kind of fell off from it. Was after that. But looking at, I've been reading a lot of newer things that won't be getting an anime anytime soon. But if they do get an anime, it's gonna be pretty. We gonna get some pretty good anime seasons in the future. I'm thinking.
I think to answer your question for the next for when we'll actually be introduced to this person in
Yeah.
the anime for Dan, it might be the end of the next season. I know
Okay.
that they did a little bit of the kaiju arc since they started it to end this recent season, and then we got the introduction
Yep.
of I can't remember her name right now. Um, but after that, they have
The
the space
kaiju?
globalist. Yeah, I can't remember the shawty's name in there. Who's piloting it? But that was like right at the end. But then you have the space globalist arc after that, which is a big damn battle with some
Nice.
aliens, and then that's when you actually get introduced to that character. You don't think
Okay.
he looks a little crazy, but you don't think anything of it until later on.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. um. Hey, what do we want to do? Do we want to go over the Alex Perez Q&A? We could go over a couple of things that he said, I guess.
Yeah. Anything that stood out?
We already did. New look at Sophie Turner. All right. Oh, real quick too. Looks like Marvel might be interested in is allegedly close to greenlighting a season 2 of Wonder Man. So, good job
Yeah.
on DDC again, as
Shout out to
always.
them for that.
Anything
Good,
DDC
good. It was
touches,
really good. I'm really curious what a season 2 would look like.
right?
Season 1 was kind of this whole acting thing, right? But I like he just broke somebody out of a maximum security prison, quote unquote. It wasn't really maximally secure, but
Yeah. Alleged, like, let me do Alex Perez thing first, and then we'll
Yes.
probably
Okay.
talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I was hearing some rumblings just so I don't forget and just so I don't get it lost in the ethos of going over all of this shit. Supposedly Marvel is more interested now in just doing team up movies and going over character stories within those team up movies more so, or team up projects more so than dropping singular projects. I think like Black Panther 3 and Spider-Man, you might have your one-offs or anything like that, but like Captain America, he might be more so in the team up project. Elena Belova, team up projects. Young Avengers might be team up projects, all of that jazz. So I think his role would fit perfectly if they're going the mutant route with the X-Men. Possibly.
I've been hearing
Possibly or West
rumblings
Coast
about
Avengers.
West Coast Avengers.
Or
Yeah.
West Coast Avengers too, yeah. Since Vision is coming back too. Cole, I was about to say Cole Bishop. What's her name?
Kate?
Hawkeye?
Oh,
Kate Bishop.
yeah.
Yeah, Cole
Hmm.
Bishop. We don't need no Bill safety throwing arrows at niggas. Nonetheless, let's get into this Alex Perez joint. All right, so real quick, supposedly, Peggy, which I think Alex Perez talked about before, Peggy is a follower of Doom more than a witch of Doom, but not because she's evil or anything of the sort. She just thinks that what Doom is doing will help her and her son to fix the current status of the multiverse, which is partially the fault of Steve Rogers. Which I'm like, damn, is this is making me think back to Endgame when Steve came back and Sam was like, "Hey, you want to tell me about her?" And he was like, "No, I don't think I will." Is it because there was some drama between them? It's kind of got me interested. But
Peggy side, bro. Who gives a fuck about Peggy siding with Doctor Doom?
I think because of her
Is it
proximity,
Captain
yeah, her
Marvel?
proximity. No, Peggy Carter, Captain Steve Rogers' wife.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is in an alternate universe, isn't she
No,
Captain
it's
America? Is it that
she
version?
Captain like Britain or something like that.
Yeah, Captain Britain.
Captain
No,
Carter,
yeah,
Captain Carter, yeah.
yeah.
Captain
Is
Carter.
it Captain
But
Carter that sides with?
no,
She isn't she supposed to be playing two characters though?
it could be a Captain Carter, but it seems like it's leaning towards the Peggy Carter that Steve went back to
Why? Yeah, then
and
I'm
had
with D.
relations with.
What
Because
what?
I think it's the proximity between her and Steve. Like we know Steve is going to feel some type of way, and I don't know. I think it just helps. It helps bring back Steve in a meaningful manner. Like, oh, you did all of this shit. Now your wife is on your ass about it too. Like, you need to fix this shit. And on top, her son too, which I don't know what her son. I'm not too familiar with their son and his powers in the comics, if they even had children or not. I'm pretty sure they did. But I think that's more so it. I don't think she's gonna be like a big character, but I think it's gonna help to convey that Doom is a lot more comes from a lot more understanding side for the heroes. So it makes sense why heroes are choosing his side over other people's side throughout the movie. That's what I truly think her mission is, at least for the audience. It's not going to be nothing big, I don't believe, but it will be to help convey, hey, heroes also agree with Doom. Like, give off this facade. He's heroic and all of that jazz. That's what I think. Damn. Oh, hi, Alex and Lizzie. Always a delight to get a chance to ask you questions. What is the main connection thread between Agatha all along, WandaVision, and Doomsday that you have been hinting at for the last few days? Alex, it mainly has to do with the concepts of magic that are explored in those shows. As much as this film is heavily based on the multiverse, time and science, a good portion of it really goes into exploring the supernatural, the dark hold, the runes, the way Agatha absorbs magic. It's all relevant to something Doom does in Avengers Doomsday. All I can tell you is beware the man who carries the word of God. Now this one really stuck out to me because I didn't even know they had something in the Marvel comics that actually is the word of God. And it's like a spell book that trumps all other spell books type of
What
thing.
is that? This must
Even
be
the dark
completely
hold.
new.
The word of God, let me check real quick.
Bro,
Wait, no,
what? D, you
Yeah.
ever heard about this in the
Like, what,
comic
I'm like,
books?
what the
this
fuck
was
is Rob talking about?
This was first
Black for
introduced in
hips.
Doctor Strange and the Sorcerer Supreme #4, January 2017. It was released. The Word of God is a years old book and collection of powerful magic that allows individuals to create, destroy, or manipulate reality. Several magicians from across time and the galaxy were drawn to its power to protect the book and reality. Merlin imprisoned those who sought out the Word of God.
And
So
Alex
that's the
Perez just
history.
dropped the word of that sounds like it's a crazy spoiler.
That shit sounds crazy. Yeah, you thought the Darkhold was crazy. The Word of God sounds even crazier.
The only word of God I read is every day in the New King James Version. Hallelujah.
Right, right.
All right. All right.
I am so lost by this. I'm gonna have to read up on that
Yeah, I'll have
because
to. We'll
this
have
is
to
one of
tap
those
into
moments
it.
where I have no background or knowledge about this.
Supposedly, it was first introduced in January 2017 in that Doctor Strange and the Sorcerer Supreme, and allegedly, what is that? 5 issues later, it was destroyed. I think that's what it looks like. I'm looking at the Marvel fandom wiki, so I could be wrong. I'm not too familiar with it, but once he heard that, I had to do some research to see if there was any inception or creation of the Word of God in Marvel Comics. So supposedly it is, and supposedly it's a powerful ass book. So, but we gonna see. Once I think I'm gonna try and read that series and see if I can learn more about it. Um, is there any truth to RDJ's Doom was Iron Man originally, but was tortured by Kang and ended up believing he was Doom? There is no truth to that theory. In the same way that Chris Evans can play two different characters in the MCU with the same face, so can Robert Downey Jr. play Victor Von Doom. And just like how now we have a main Johnny Storm with Joseph Quinn, I'm hearing we'll eventually have another Victor Von Doom. So I know this was a main contention point with the pod a couple pods ago, where people was like, no, we don't want RDJ to stay as Victor Von Doom, which is, I understand that sentiment. It seems like Robert Downey Jr. is only playing a temporary Von Doom, and we will eventually get the real main Victor Von Doom later on down the line.
But really though, why didn't you just have him play Superior Iron Man? Because I get what they're saying, it's possible you can have people.
That's for Tom Cruise. They're still gonna bring him for that.
He didn't want to play Iron Man no more.
I get he can play
Yeah,
Doctor Doom, but it's like we already know it's gonna have some type of
Reset.
he didn't want to tarnish
no
his
a
legacy.
reset. But I'm saying Robert Downey Jr. looking like Victor Von Doom is gonna play a crucial part in this story. That's the whole thing. Like it's gonna play a part in the story, rather they say it or not. It's like, okay, but there was tons of actors you could have got to do that in this multiverse. In this multiverse storyline, you're gonna get Robert Downey Jr. to play Doctor Doom. Then at some point the mask is gonna come off and he's gonna be recognized. Like, oh my gosh, this is Tony Stark. And then they're gonna go into his backstory or whatever. But then it's like the first time we're meeting Doom is going to be as a variant. So the next time when we get the real Doom, it's not going to hit the same when we get the real Doom. Even if it's a reset, Rob, it's not going to hit the same if we get Robert Downey Jr. for 2 movies, excuse me, or 2 or 3 movies. Then you reset and it's like, all right, here's Doctor Doom. And it's like, but we just had him for 3 movies already. And it was already Robert Downey Jr. and he wasn't the real Doom.
I I don't know. Me personally, I think it could still work. Like, especially if they go more so into detail with his backstory with the new Doom, and then they bring in the Mephistos and everything like that. Because Doom kind of like, I'm pretty sure he's had instances of working with Avengers. Like, I'm pretty sure there was a story where he worked with Iron Man to defeat Mephisto, but at the same time he was still like doing his own thing. I don't. He doesn't necessarily have to be like a as big of a villain, but I think he'll still be able to command, especially depending on the actor that they get. I think it will still go somewhat well, I guess.
I tell you what this tells me at least is if that is the route they're gonna go, they're going to have to close. And that's where I kind of lean more so into the point that D is making, and where this becomes a little bit more difficult than they making it sound. Is in order for that to work successfully, you would need to close out this whole entire realm and world that we are in currently in the MCU, and that's not going to be the case. They kind of setting up this universe to be a bit confusing because, and I'm not saying that they can't solve it or that I don't think that they're, that won't necessarily be the case, but If you got, like, as an example, Simon Williams coming into this new X-Men saga, which means he survived all of the events that happened previously, or you have even Daredevil, Spider-Man. We know we not done with movies with solo movies with. You bringing these characters in who we know survived whatever happens, and they familiar faces who you can link to everything that would have happened before Doom, Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom. And then you bring in, it could be a couple years or whatever the case is, but then you bring in this new Doom and say, oh, well, Doom is one of the characters that didn't survive, which will be justifiable if he was the cause or source of everything. I see where the narrative can go from that. But to D's point, it's like, you bring this character in on lesser terms, they're gonna have a lesser impact. Why couldn't you just go with that from the start? Then that character, we know what that character is fully capable of. I mean, I don't want to think that there's less of the character.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, if this Doom is creating Battle World, and then it all ends up being, you know what, we all need one, just one universe, and this Doom doesn't make it. So where does the real Doom come from?
Well, if he could be manifested in everything after it resets.
I think that's what the movies are gonna. Secret Wars specifically.
Yeah,
we'll talk about. So,
yeah, like I ultimately, it seems like it's going towards like a reset, like it's legit a reset in some characters. Like we'll get introduced to a new Iron Man probably sometime down the line, because even though that Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man did exist before the reset is some people didn't make it over. Well, RDJ's Iron Man in this case didn't make it over because of Endgame, but characters in this battle after this battle world thing is over are not gonna make it. There's people who are just not gonna make it to the new set reality. And some people are, but again, to D's point, we know this dude did more than Thanos did at this point with the Infinity Gauntlet, and to be reduced to just a guy running around and is not of the same caliber as the Doom that we previously saw, it just don't feel right. Like, especially knowing the capabilities of Dr. Doom, it kind of rubs me wrong.
All right,
I understand you can't run it back with the new Doom. I understand you can't do that, but dang, that's like, I mean, we talk about Dr. Doom here. I kind of like the idea of the threat that you present with him with RDJ, but to put him at a lesser threat, I almost rather them wait and bring him in as a villain in a later arc, just something to show, okay, this Doom also has that spark in him, and we can expect more from him. That's why I said, once we get this is what I was saying in previous podcasts. Once we get the RDJ Dr. Doom, you really can't bring him back for a while. It's just not. It's not going to work right. Like Thanos, it's like kind of a similar thing with Thanos, but not nearly to the same extent as it is with what's likely going to be the case with RDJ's Doom. Is like, you can't, like, unless you figure out a way to one up it, which now we kind of approaching a point with this reset getting Thanos back, the storyline kind of fits with it, and just the pacing of everything kind of fits with it. So if we got another Thanos story, you could still kind of have Thanos in that glory.
Technically,
it's really
King Thanos is coming back in Secret Wars.
Sure,
my thing
and
is,
he'll be in a lesser role too.
It is definitely being a lesser role, but it's like we've seen him for 2 movies, like, and having King Thanos, it's like, okay, so what is he gonna be doing if you already announced a reset? And then my thing is, like Rob said, Doom has worked with the heroes in some capacity in the comics. Yes, he's worked with Hulk, separating Hulk and Banner. He's worked with Iron Man. He's worked with Magneto, but he uses them for his own ill-gotten gains. But it's like, if you like when he worked with Magneto for one time, Doom worked with Magneto in order to get immortality, just so he could make one wish. And it was in the comic, but it was like he used Magneto and then turned the Sentinels back on Magneto, and Magneto had to flee. But then it's like, that doesn't hold the same weight as Doom creating Battle World and resetting the timeline. So it's like, if you
it's our first introduction of him, right?
Yeah. So if you bring in a Doom after this is like bringing in a new Hulk after a World War Hulk movie and be like, oh, this is gonna be the new Hulk, and then he don't get half as angry or something like that. Maybe that's not a good analogy. It's like,
but I follow you.
I
Yeah.
think they're trying to curtail a lot of the reaction after Endgame came out because people, like I was saying earlier, people are going to compare to the most recent, especially the biggest project that you have recently released. There was no way Marvel would have been able to release even Spider-Man, even Black Panther 2. There was no movie that was going to come to the same gravitas as Infinity War and Endgame. It was just no way. But fans still wanted that to happen, even though that's just not possible unless they're dropping Avengers movies every single year, which is the reason why I think they're going to be going more so in the team movies, like was being speculated, so that
Yeah,
it's
because they want.
easier. So Doom can be like the world threat while you have an Annihilus being a universal threat. You have the Celestials being a universal threat. Like we know Doom is a pretty powerful being, but he's also not the main villain all the time per se. You feel me? He can
Yeah.
still come up
So
with
when he's the next
machinations. Like
time
he
that he
doesn't.
is like a big villain though, which the only thing that we have off of him beforehand, at least,
Mhm.
even though it's a different Doom in this case, the only thing that we have given from what we've seen, I'm talking general audiences, I'm not talking about comic book readers, is a multiversal level threat.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. So
now if you have him, you can go D.
no, I was saying like to Niall's point, like Rob is saying like he doesn't have to be the big bad. Like Doom doesn't have to be the big bad for all the Avengers movies
Mhm.
or anything moving forward, even Fantastic Four movies. He's always, behind the scenes doing his own thing. But it's like to Niall's point, you introduce this Doom being a multiversal threat, and then the next time we see him, it's just like, okay, he's in Latveria, or he's doing something with Mephisto, or he's doing something in Wakanda, or he's doing something where it's catching people's attention. And then, like Rob is saying, you can have an Annihilus, you can have the Celestials doing your Judgment Day, you can have all this, and you can still use Doom, but it's like you're using Doom in a point where he was damn near untouchable in Secret Wars. Then you bringing in a new one, so it's like you're already bringing in a new Iron Man, following Robert Downey Jr.'s footsteps. That's gonna be hard to do. Then you put the same nigga doing that in a Doom costume and give him the ultimate Doom shit and say, all right, two new niggas come in, you gonna have to follow into Robert Downey Jr.'s footsteps. It's gonna be like, okay. And then to Rob's point about Endgame, it's like with Endgame, I feel like they had some of the movies like put in the wrong place. I think Black Widow should have been done like 4 or 5 years before Endgame. Black
Mhm.
Panther 2 could have been done if they had say, and I feel like they really dropped the ball not having T'Challa there when the snap was gone. That could have been a Black Panther 2, some shit going on Wakanda with his people, and then also figuring out how to bring people back. And it's like they kind of dropped the ball in that regard. And then after Endgame, it could have been like a little reset, or hey, we're going to introduce mutants, and these are going to be the characters that we have. But it was just like after Endgame, people wanted more because other stories weren't finished.
It's tricky because I mean you could bring Doom in and have him just be like the new Doom. You just have him kind of flex a little bit, but it's not obviously nearly to the point that the previous Doom we saw did, but enough of a flex to make you feel like, okay, this version of Doom could also be a problem down the line. They could do something like that. But you're gonna have to then the question becomes you're gonna have to fit the story. Sorry, you're gonna have to fit the story to make that work. And that's my question. Really quickly, never mind. That is spam.
Yep.
Never mind.
Yep, already banned.
Well, we'll have to see though. I feel like it all depends on how they do Secret Wars, how they all convey
It
Doom.
comes down right. It's just gonna have to come back around to the story. Like if they do a Fantastic Four story, and that's where we get introduced to the new Doom
Hmm.
and like the post Battle World scenario.
I feel like that's perfect.
Um,
I feel like that's good.
I mean, it's fine because it's exactly it's traditionally how Doom is used, but you gonna have to make it
Good. He's gonna
like
have to be the
really.
best
So in
villain
this
in
post
history.
Battle World, Secret World universe that we're going to be building, when they introduce this new Doom, is this going to be someone that has had history with Fantastic Four, with
That's another good question.
Reed Richards? So it's like when you're resetting things, it's like, oh, well, everybody's been here. It's like, okay, so what's everyone's history going to be at that point? Because if they defeat this Doom, are they just in a world where they know Doom was defeated, or what's going to
Nah,
happen, or is it just going to be
Secret
like Doctor
Wars.
Strange is going to be the one that remembers what it was before, with a handful of other people?
With Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars, only Reed and Franklin remember the universe prior to.
But I don't think I don't think they're going to be going, following Jonathan Hickman's, because it's the way they're establishing Reed in this. They really haven't established him as this new leader going forward in Marvel. And I feel like maybe it
I,
might be Doctor Strange that might.
I
I feel like Doctor Strange could be that person, or Reed Richards, but
I think Doctor Strange is gonna be temporarily cooked in Secret Wars, because he's gonna end up helping the Avengers out, the heroes out. But I think this is where Doomsday will come in, because Reed he's probably gonna be the one to build the raft, which allows the heroes to survive the final incursion and then make their way to Battle World, with their memories intact and everything like that. It all depends on these movies. I think they're gonna convey Reed as a de facto leader, for this, because he'll have so much knowledge on the topic. Probably Shuri as well. Probably a Sam Wilson as well. Um, but I think Reed might take, because he would probably be the main one, or the smartest person to
It
be able
takes
to figure out this stuff
intelligence.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the smartest person to be
Doctor
able to.
Strange should have a big role too.
He'll have a role, but he won't be the full
I think
leader.
he might have a more elevated role for the simple fact that they likely will need him to tap in to a lot of things, and you got to also think about it. At least comically, or in accordance to comic history, even though Reed Richards is like the smartest person in the universe, he is still very inept when it comes to magic.
Hmm.
So I think you got to have somebody on the heroic side
Hmm.
that kind of makes up for that. That's why I don't hate the idea of Strange being the one who comes out of it remembering everything. I think that's probably the best role, because they going like, especially if we know that Strange Academy is coming down the line, that's a great excuse to get like for him to like really push the students, or at least the entire setup of Strange Academy. So I like that, the idea of him coming out of it. But like my thing is this, and I was hearing rumors that Secret Wars is going to be possibly in 2 parts. As much as I don't necessarily want that, just because of like time reasons, I kind of think that may needs to be the direction that it goes into, because they got to make that story like
Work.
impeccable.
Hmm.
Like, it's a lot of pressure on how, okay, we know that this movie is the one that's going to be doing the big turnover, and the turnover isn't just like Spider-Man going through his things. The turnover is like we getting introduced to the X-Men now. Like, this is the X-Men saga. So they got to close this and have it introduced the X-Men saga in a way that's going to not only mainly motivate fans going into the X-Men side. Do the X-Men just being the X-Men help with that? Of course. But you got to bring this all together. Like, it's a lot. We already talking about a lot of plot holes, a lot of just things that won't be covered. We know for a fact it won't be covered. You got to wrap all of that stuff up. Then you also got to wrap, like, bruh, it's a lot, bro. It's a lot. Then you gotta make sense for X-Men being in this main universe. Then you gotta make sense for some characters coming back and some not. I don't even hit a good question that I'm really curious about is, what is the future of Chris Hemsworth's Thor? You know, in his personal life, he been having some things that's been, without going too much into his personal life, because that's not necessarily needed. But he's had some things that he's had to shoulder and make him look at how he is going to treat his acting life going forward. He might not want to keep on doing this. He might be kind of saying, look, I got to loosen up and take kind of simpler roles, ones that don't necessarily involve me getting in stupendous shape all the time. And if that's the case, you may have to also introduce a new Thor in this new reset. And it's like, you got to make sense of that if that's the case in Battle World. And it's a lot, bro. It's a lot that and again, I'm saying this without knowing all of the characters that's included in that. Like, if Doom make it over for a third movie with Robert Downey Jr., then you got to make sense of that, especially if there's going to be a newer Doom down the line. And then that's going to somehow have to tie out of Secret Wars. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the Wolverine. We were already talking about it. Okay, they supposed to be getting a new Wolverine as well, but we also know Hugh Jackman is likely to come back for another movie. You gonna have to make sense of that in Secret Wars. Then we gonna be getting a Black Panther that's introduced in the film that is gonna be our long lasting Black Panther. So then you're gonna have to make sense of that in the film. Then it's other characters. It's just a lot. It's a lot to it's a lot to figure out.
I think y'all might be thinking about this too much. Listen, we're starting this new universe. This Black Panther is coming from a different universe. It's coming here now. We got potentially Miles Morales coming from a different
get the way
universe.
to do
saying
it.
that, but this Doctor Doom we're getting from another universe has no history with Reed. We don't even know if this Doctor Doom has.
He does have a history with Reed. Supposedly he does. That's
how that's gonna work.
But I'm saying Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom has history with Reed, but we're supposed to be getting a new Doctor Doom after this, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and so the whole entire story will be reset, type of thing. So instead of it being controlled by He Who Remains, just Reed and Doctor Doom's relationship would just be transported from the Earth that they was already at, just transfer it here with the new Doctor Doom and everything like that. Just like how Fantastic Four, there was the older Steve Rogers. What's that man's name? Chris Evans, who played a Human Torch in Deadpool and Wolverine, but yet we got the main one in Joseph Quinn in the new Fantastic Four. Like, they're just gonna just do it all anew, just make a new Victor Von Doom, and have it be that they always had this history going up to this new world. Because again, it's a reset. That means the entire history of things are changing. It might
to incorporate everyone.
It might generally still be the same, but we were talking about it last pod. Is they're not gonna be breaking the mold a lot in regards to mutants and all of the things that already transpired that happened with Thanos and Ultron and all of this jazz. They're just gonna make it so that, hey, the mutants just never got involved. They were dealing with their own shit, maybe a Mr. Sinister, maybe so on and so forth during this time, and that's why they didn't get involved. So I think they're just gonna get straight to it and just be like, that's what it is.
So then we get Doom. So like, okay, Fantastic Four 2. Definitely not coming out before Secret Wars.
Hell no.
So when we in a new universe when we get Fantastic Four 2. It's Doom. Does Doom just pop up in that movie and it's like, okay, yeah, I know you have everything that you had before with RDJ, but just forget all of that. We in a new reset. Here's the new Doctor Doom. He has the beef already with the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Bro, that's just hard to pull over
That's
on.
lazy as fuck.
It could be, yeah. I mean, it truthfully just all depends. Again, it's very crucial how they're spinning this RDJ Doctor Doom stuff. It all depends on that. Because if they do an impeccable way of telling RDJ or telling us why RDJ is Doom in this specific universe, then we're not banking on this new Doom to have to convey or do all of that shit. If they give us a good bow ending and a good understanding of why RDJ is Doom, then nobody's gonna bat an eye about this new Doom because it was.
But at Max, sorry to interrupt you. At Max, though, we are supposed to possibly there's a good chance we'll have another RDJ Doom movie, right? Or Doom something.
We don't know.
If we did, though, if it were to be that that's the case, that RDJ signed on for one more additional movie, how in the world do you balance all of that? Are they going to do like an old man Doom?
No. What do you mean?
For
the Secret Wars Part 2, that's just to be able to fully expound upon, I guess, the full story of Secret Wars, just to make it easier. That's why I think they're initially talking about the 2 parts for Secret Wars. So they got 2 movies and you got a lot of
It's the
time to be
like
able to
flesh it out, which I like.
flesh
That's why I
this
said I
stuff out.
agree with it. But what
That's
I'm
why
saying is, oh, you saying the third movie would be the part two to Secret Wars, and then RDJ is just done.
done is after that. Yeah,
Oh,
no RDJ Doctor
okay,
Doom coming to the new universe. He's gonna be
yeah,
done at Secret Wars, and that's why I'm thinking
yeah.
if they're
And
doing
I
a
mean,
two part,
they just gonna have to hope that
they gonna have
fans
to.
lock in on the idea of, hey, think of your more traditional Marvel universe,
It's no
i.e.,
joy to do
comic book
this.
universe.
Either you already got him as Doctor Doom. Either you slowly phase him out over time, which is gonna make it even harder for the new person, or just get that shit over with.
Yeah,
And I think they just decided this shit is too much of a hassle. Let's just get this shit over with. We have a great
and flesh
actor
out.
who wanted
Yeah.
to come and play Doctor Doom. We have a great story behind why he's Doctor Doom. So why not let's just go balls to the wall, do this shit, do all the comic book, timey-wimey, variant bullshit that's in the comics, and then let's just start anew going forward. So I think that's what they're doing.
So the mistake that we gonna see is gonna be Hugh Jackman, because that's not. It's just don't bank in for it. They just. I mean, unless they did like an old man. I mean, they still could. They could kind
I
of
think
do
they're
like
going to
an
old
old
man
man
Logan.
Logan, and he just remembered. You know, you could blame it on his healing factor or something, but he just remembered the events of the past and is finishing up some
I
loose
can see that
screws
too.
type gig.
Or just working with Deadpool still. And just fucking doing his own thing, or time teaming up with X Force while the mainline Wolverine is with the X
That's
Men or
and
the
that's my
Avengers or anything like that.
that's that's my big thing is like if this reset came with like a character reset, it would be so much more smooth to like issue into the next saga. It's like, okay, we could really put everything behind us. But here in this description, at least, it sounds like it's almost kind of forced, which is why I think D used the words before of lazy writing, because you just gonna have to be like, yo, I Doctor Doom and Reed Richards have a beef, but it's not RDJ's Reed Richards. It's this new one.
And
Okay, because this
that's my
was a
thing I'm saying
whole.
because I'm like, yo, I get we doing a reset, but they didn't show this Doctor Doom during that Fantastic Four movie. They showed an empty seat. They
I think
showed
that's
him
the
at
reason
the
why.
end. So it's like you
They
gonna
may as
reset the
well call
universe.
this
Yeah,
phase one.
how you gonna reset the universe and have a different Doom when we haven't even seen them have any type of history? And it's like I get what Rob is saying, but it's like, yo, the story is gonna have to make so much fucking sense. Like the Human Torch joint is different
Yeah.
because he was in a whole different world with Cassandra Cain that had nothing to do with this new Fantastic Four. That was an old and they brought him in because that was the death of that universe that we thought was gonna be. This is like the second time they bringing back these Fox characters and X Men. So I get we're universe hopping. We get this multiverse, but it's like, yo, you're bringing back Robert Downey Jr. and then his Doom is done, and now we're supposed to believe that a new Doom that you have in place just has the same history. Well, I guess it could because we haven't
Has
seen.
more of a history.
You said what?
Has more of a history.
Because at
Yeah,
the end of the day, this Doom that we're seeing at RDJ, it's not the prototypical Doom that we're accustomed to seeing. Because we know He Who Remains altered the timeline specifically so that he was in control and he stayed in control.
yeah, but listen
So
to this, Rob. We going from He Who Remains is Kang variant from them just taking Kang completely out this shit.
I don't think they are. I think why why Tony Stark looks like RDJ is specifically a reason of He Who Remains. I think Kang, although he probably won't be shown as we would have seen him in Kang Dynasty, he's still gonna have played a pivotal role in why the mainline universe looks the way it does, why
So
the
is he
mutants are
only
not
going to be
there.
spoken about and they are going to say He Who Remains did this because that would just feel cheap because the general audience isn't going to know who He Who Remains is if you're not going to be showing Kang. If you're not going to show Kang in any capacity and
I
just say,
think
general audience are going to have to just go through it and we say He Who Remains is the reason that all this shit is like this. And we skip right over Kang, right over all that other shit, and then boom, Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom is done after 3 movies, and we get somebody else. It's like, okay, so all that talk about a He Who Remains and all of that, and we didn't get to see him.
most folks, general audience included, know about He Who Remains because
They
of how
don't. Okay.
popular Loki Loki was one of the best TV shows
Rob, Loki was
in
not
some
that
time.
popular for general audience to know who
Oh,
Who Remains is.
brother. Oh, brother. Season 1, season 2 of Loki?
Nigga,
It was
I ain't
super
even watching.
popular. That's you not everybody though. That's the thing.
Rob, we say general audience,
There
we
was
already
there
know
was a
general
movie
audience
with him.
is not going to be like, okay,
And there was a movie with him too.
But to the point of that movie didn't really satisfy the explanation. Mind you, remember that was like the nanoverse or wherever that verse is in Ant-Man. So it's not like that movie really did anything to push the major multi-universal controlling Kang. You would have to have watched Loki, which to D's point that everybody watched Loki though. Like I know that it was a very well performing show, but general audience going in here knowing the hype of Avengers is probably a lot larger than any other medium that you have for Marvel.
I think that's where you also have a Loki though. So even if they don't show Kang, they still have people who have dealt with He Who Remains. They still have Loki, who's right now at going to be a huge pivotal part where they could just lean on him to do an info dump on He Who Remains, just in case for anybody that don't know. They could do like brief little recaps, like in anime, where they go back in time with a little flashback scene to show something, and then they could keep the ball rolling. You don't necessarily have to go above and beyond to do that. And I don't think you need to for general audiences to understand He Who Remains was the person who's behind all of this shit. He Who Remains is the reason why Tony Stark looks like Doom and why all of this shit, or one of the reasons why all of this shit is transpiring. I don't think it's too big of a task, if you ask me. I could be wrong though.
It's just how they sell it. You know, like that's what all of this really kind of boils down to. Because it's so much like what's different with this movie or at least these two movies are that like there's so much course correction you really don't know what in the world is actually going to happen in the movie itself. Like everybody can kind of have like speculation and such, but it's so much that like warped and changed the idea of Jonathan Majors being pushed out and now us switching over to RDJ and everything that's kind of on the back of that is so hard to fully know exactly what is this movie going to accomplish, what is it going to do. We just have titles more or less to go with it, but we know that Marvel and the cinematic universe has a lot of liberties that aren't necessarily from the comic book. So when you combine all of those elements, it's like, yeah, bro, we really have no clue. They very well could weave this together where we sitting here with these questions and then they say, yeah, no, we already have an answer for that. And the answer actually works. It just depends. Russo brothers have been pretty good with their storytelling in regards to bringing a lot of different pieces together. They really were confident and went to Kevin Feige and said, we got this. So maybe maybe all of this they thought about and they just got a way to figure it out. It just does not seem very understandable at this point in time.
Just to put it in perspective too, if we were to ask like a couple general audience members who don't have that much comic book history what their favorite TV show of Marvel is, probably some people would say Wonder Man as of recently, but a lot of people I would put money on would say WandaVision. Loki season 1 outperformed WandaVision in total minutes cumulative viewership. That alone leads me to believe
Rob, that
that
don't
a
translate
lot
to
of
nobody
people.
knowing He Who Remains is responsible
Yes,
for all of
it
this shit.
does.
Rob,
Yes,
There's,
it does.
here's
no,
the
no,
thing.
no, Naya, hold on, Naya, hold on.
Does.
If Endgame almost made $3 billion, well, I'm talking about that general audience that's going to see a big old spectacle, somebody gonna bring their kids. All them niggas is not gonna know if they mention He Who Remains. Who the fuck is He Who Remains? Who
They
is
know
it?
Yeah.
it because they viewed Loki season 1 because the
bro,
viewership was so
I think
high.
Everybody that contributed to that movie almost making $3 billion. Everybody did not watch Loki season 1.
Yeah.
It's
It doesn't
I'm
have to
someone
be
that doesn't even watch Marvel
everybody.
TV shows.
It doesn't have to be everybody. It's still a plethora of people. Even you, though, you haven't watched it yet. You know who He Who Remains is. It's not like a crucial or crazy concept to understand if somebody just tells you it word of mouth too. This is what Marvel is banking on as well. People don't, if you don't watch the shows, you got hella YouTube creators dropping videos on who He Who Remains is.
Rob, a lot of general audience isn't watching YouTube videos either. You got to understand. So this is not. You cannot. Even in business, you can't operate on optimism. Marvel can't just say, "Oh, you know what? Word of mouth. Everybody's going to talk about He Who Remains." You have to. You have to forecast its success and like stay grounded in that. Like that's all I'm saying. You can't just be like, you know what? Loki season 1 did well. Season 2 did well. Everybody gonna know who He Who Remains is. We don't need Jonathan Majors in here to do that. You literally had the Kang Universe title and you canceled it. And now it's Secret War and Doomsday. It's different. Some people just want to go see a movie. Some people not going to be following all of this shit. And then you start naming all of this other shit going on. They're like, okay, yeah, they can look it up, do a Google search, but they're not as invested as we are in this He Who Remains to understand why. Wait a minute, Robert Downey Jr. I thought he died in Endgame. Why is he back as this person? Why is Doctor Doom this and this? Why is this going on? When I say general audience, I think of somebody like my sister, Derek. How come Wolverine wasn't in the Spider-Man movie? Huh? Derek, how come Batman wasn't fighting with the Avengers the last time? She's the type of person I'm
Yeah.
talking about. She's not
Yeah.
like her boyfriend explains things to her, but it's like when she asks me this question, I'm like, yo, there's other people out there like that are going to these movies and are sitting there and have no clue what the fuck is going on, especially when you have 50 fucking characters in a movie and different timelines and all this other shit. That's the same. Like people didn't understand a lot of the jokes that was hitting in Daredevil. They didn't understand Ryan Reynolds' relationship with Wesley Snipes or relationships at Fox or understanding why the 20th Century Fox was in the background. Some shit does have to be explained, but that doesn't mean that the general audience is just hip to all of that.
Which unfortunately, here's the thing too, though. There's not like with the exit of Jonathan Majors, there isn't really anything that they could do. And but here's the thing, Sage. Here's the thing. That's one kind of asterisk towards this is confusing to the general audience. So that's where it's gonna be like paramount that how they close this out and introduce the new series
It is.
doesn't repeat that.
It is.
Because if that isn't handled successfully though, what's going to happen is that same general audience that D is talking about is going to be like, bro, I'm not watching these Marvel movies. This is too confusing. They always confuse me. Because he's right. It's people like that. They're going to be like, nah, bro, I ain't doing that no more. That's too confusing. I don't understand what they was trying to do. They introduced this person who they never showed me and said that he the reason for everything. And then now it's this new dude who is RDJ. Like, I'm too confused. For you, IDT, we not confused. We understand. But you talking about, bro, come on. Like, come on.
Never said it's not gonna be easy. They're gonna have to figure out a way to be able to
That's
convey
just
it.
my point.
It's not gonna
That's
be
just
easy.
my point. Is that
But
this is
I
not,
think that there's more than enough ways for them to be able to convey it enough for people to understand it from other people's standpoints and not just from Kang's standpoint.
yeah, but then it's like you gotta go do like see that's the thing about it though is either the other characters are gonna just like literally there's gonna be a portion of the film where they just break it down and explain. Which is like woo boy, you gotta don't underestimate the viewer because there are the viewers like us who like if they got a almost like a anime style breakdown in the middle of a film, like we used to it, we conditioned to it from anime. You watch that JJK Tengen scene and you like what is happening, but we stick through it. Like we stick through it, right? But bro, you get that against somebody who just like, all right, this Avengers thing was trending on Twitter,
I don't think
X,
you need to.
formerly known as Twitter. Let me go see this Avengers movie, and then they just have a full-on explanation a quarter into the first film, and it's like, bro, they got me reading, they got me looking at charts, they talking about this guy they not even showing me, bro. Like
And
it's
imagine
a very intricate balance.
people gonna see the movie regardless. But if you got a lot of people in the GA that haven't seen a movie since Endgame from Avengers or Marvel, it's gonna be with them. They're gonna be if they have a scene where they explain it. It could be a 10-minute scene where they're explaining it. There's nothing wrong with that. We just watched Superman and Lois have a conversation for 10 to 12 minutes. They can explain that, but in this context, it's so different because they're gonna be drinking from a fucking fire hose. It's like when you start your new job and everybody's using all this work jargon and saying all these different abbreviations and all this different shit and using people's nicknames at work. You like, yo, like I caught two things,
Yeah.
and now y'all want me to understand what y'all said in 10 minutes. It's like it's gonna take a while, but it's like you have to be able to explain it like somebody is 5 years old, and they've done a lot of shit since Endgame where it's like you can't break this down to somebody like it's like
It's
they
gonna
a
be
5 year old
difficult.
during a movie where you introducing old X-Men characters, introducing new characters, introducing the plot, storyline, and further building on this.
They gonna do it though. Like that is what is essentially gonna happen in some way, shape, or form. But I just think that's kind of one knock. You know what? And that's the concern for me is you likely gonna have to just eat it, like take an L in that, because I don't see how you get around that. But if that now imagine everything you just said, Nino, and now let's add that it's just as confusing at the end. And what for the general audience, like we said, not the ones like us, but for the general audience, what does that do for you if the film start with confusion and end with confusion, and likely because it ends in confusion with the end of that movie that leads up that is pushing through the reset. Now you got to have another start that's confusing. It's going to like almost build up a reputation. That's why I'm saying they got to. It's the part of the success with this movie is not just like there's the marketing success, there's the character success, and then there's going to be the plot success. And the reality is that in order to push this forward, you really kind of need to have success at all three of those levels. We've already seen where the marketing is kicking is doing its thing. We are seeing the characters that they have. We talking about heavy hitters. We talking about X-Men characters that people love dearly. Like they doing it, at least as far as it seems right now with it. And I have confidence that throughout the movie, they'll make even more connections and make even more moments with those characters. So now the last one that you got to kind of tie into place is going to be that plot. And the way that they maneuver, I'm not trying to say this to like put them down, because I know that in a lot of ways they just trying to do the best that they can, but it is this is kind of tricky. So I don't know. But to be honest, D, I think they take an L. I just think you have to, because unfortunately Jonathan Majors wasn't able to have a graceful exit. So what do you do? There's moments where you're going to have to explain, because you just don't have any other options unless they put somebody else in that Kang role. But I don't think they're going to do. I mean, there hasn't been any indications that they're doing anything like that.
All right. Went on a little tangent there. The Watcher supposedly in it as well.
Who is this?
The Watcher. With Doomsday, should we expect to see any of the cosmic entities since the multiverse is ending? I would think they would get involved. The most I've heard about was the Watcher, but that's about it. Another way for
I could see
general
that.
audiences being able to get the information that they didn't get from various shows or movies that they didn't watch. So that's another way. What does Rhonda's role look like in Doomsday? All I can say at the moment is that her involvement is slightly unexpected. Are the photos that leaked of the actors in costume legit? Thank you. I can confirm that there was a very substantial leak of Avengers Doomsday pictures during the last days of 2025. I will, however, not address their content on this page. My question is, are all the projects coming out this year, Wonder Man, Vision Quest, Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Spider-Man Brand New Day, all tying into those characters returning in Secret Wars instead of Doomsday, meaning they won't be in Doomsday but will be in Secret Wars? Some will, some won't. Brand New Day and Vision Quest are in the yes category. So it seems like Vision and all the characters from there in Brand New Day will be returning in Secret Wars instead of Doomsday. So that's interesting. What are the chances Secret Wars will be split into two parts, which we were just talking about? The current
Question.
rumor. Oh, go ahead.
I just got one question off that, right? So see another thing kind of going off of our previous conversation just because this does fit into that. That's another reason why this stuff got to be so important because this going to be characters offhand that we don't see in Secret Wars that will appear in the next saga. And it's like, what was happening with them during that time? Like, if Wonder Man not in Secret Wars, like one of the most powerful entities that we possibly could have. Now you got to explain why or what happened during that entire part. All of that still got to be answered as well, and how they end Secret Wars and how they set up and in Secret Wars, I should say. So they just whoever in that room, whoever in that writing room.
They got the dude. They got the dude who helped write Infinity War and Endgame, and wrote what's that damn show called? I got the multiverse.
Man, they drinking coffee right now.
Rick and Morty. They got the same guy who's been wrote on Rick and Morty, and that had a very big multiversal type of events, and so somehow, some way, I think they were able to keep it cohesive. So I think that's why they brought him on.
He drinking a lot of coffee right now.
Probably.
I mean, right now, like 9:15 p.m. He's still trying to figure out how to fix something.
Yeah, but the current rumor running around is that Secret Wars is going to be split into two parts. I'd like to pile on to that rumor and say there's a very high chance that they could. And the reason is why that is over the last few days, the team here at Cosmic Circus has been monitoring updates for developments on multiple Marvel projects and have discovered that Avengers Secret Wars, which was originally approved to start in the coming months, has now ground into what is known as a conditional start phase. Essentially, it means that Marvel cannot legally film anything for Secret Wars until a new verification of the contract is achieved. In the few instances that this has happened is because there has been a massive shift from what the production was originally looking like. For example, like one film now being split into two parts. What can you tell us about Bob's role in the MCU past Secret Wars? Thanks for the question. As for Bob, I can't comment on anything about his role post Secret Wars just yet. Seems like it might be a pretty big one that he doesn't want to spoil. Now that it seems Avengers Doomsday could be the first film in a new trilogy, would a third movie after Secret Wars just be the studio stretching the story by splitting it into two films? Or would it be a genuine follow-up that continues that story? The trilogy, if it happens, would be to extend the multiverse saga leading into its conclusion. So probably be able to knock out some of the storylines within the multiverse saga that has been left open-ended so that they could finish it properly and then move on after Secret War so that there's no stone unturned.
So possible. Let me make sure I got that right. So it could possibly be up to as much as a trilogy.
Trilogy meaning Doomsday, Secret Wars Part 1, and Secret Wars Part 2.
Oh, okay. Got you,
Yeah.
got you. Sorry.
No, you good. Part 2 for the Q&A. Ant-Man and the Ant Farm. Hope you're all doing well with the cold weather and such. Is there any sort of word on recasting Hank and Janet post Secret Wars, or is the active Ant family just shrinking down to Cassie, pun intended? No plans for Hank and Janet moving forward. Champion / Young Avengers.
Why don't they think of stuff like that? I hate when that is the answer, though.
I just think they figured out that Ant-Man really just isn't that big of a...
Yeah, so let's just get rid of him then. Like, you don't make the reset. Just that should be known.
I think that's just why they don't have any plans.
Well, they should know that now. They should be saying like, well, I guess they can't, but the leakers should be saying like, nah, it's no outlook on them coming back. No, I need more than that. Say they ain't coming back. Say they ain't making the cut.
That's no what plans going forward. No, I need you to say it again. I need
you to say it,
but say it with different words.
It's direct. I need it as direct as possible. They not coming back. They ain't worth it.
All right. You mentioned in the last Q&A that you had heard that Novar was reportedly being eyed for the villain of the Champion show, but you needed to follow up on it. Did you get around to doing that? And if so, is that still the aim currently, or are they going another route? Still a bit too early, Alex says, but when I get an update, I'll follow up. Daredevil and Devil's Reign. Now, this is some juicy shit right here. Somebody asked, "Hey Alex, will the Devil Rain storyline conclusion be under a Spider-Man movie title, or a crossover team-up event?" This is an excellent. Alex responds, "This is an excellently timed question because I get to tell you about a recent rumor that has me excited for the next saga. I have heard the idea thrown around for the upcoming saga to feature a crossover team-up film
Yeah,
that
we
will
were talking
serve as
about
an
that.
epilogue, of the Devil's Reign storyline that technically started all the way back in Hawkeye with the appearance of Wilson Fisk.
Yep.
The idea would be to feature street level heroes from NYC affected by Fisk Reign of Terror against vigilantes, and we would see the likes of Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Punisher, and more team up to take down Wilson Fisk and his enforcers in a final bout against the regime. And that said, film is the current path for Spider-Man to be able to appear alongside these heroes. This is apparently one of the plans they have in motion to try and get these heroes to appear together. So that's going to be a big one. Devil's Reigns, we got the Defenders coming back again too. Very big one. Defoe boy, that's his name. Hi Alex, thank you for doing that yet again. Is the White Tiger TV show a probability still? Not 100% sure at this moment. Alex Perez says, "Hi Alex, is there any chance for a Daredevil?"
I have a gripe with that question, but there's no need for that. The man only lasted like an episode.
It's his niece.
Like I said, he only lasted like an episode.
It's his niece.
Like
That's
I said,
White
he only
Tiger.
lasted an episode.
It's
He's
his
saying
niece.
the character is like Ant-Man and he not necessary.
Thank
Or
you.
his niece is not necessary is what he's saying.
Now,
It'd be the
now
Defender.
is her niece does his niece have potential to be a part of the Young Avengers? Then yes, I would say it's necessary for this.
Which
But-
is part of their goal though, is
Yeah,
he said
or
earlier they're trying to do more
but
groups.
At the same time, is it necessary? Homie only lasted an episode.
That was him.
I think T's saying with the what was the nigga name? The White Tiger, Bronze Tiger, White Tiger.
White Tiger.
It's like while the episode was cool, it's like his niece being the White Tiger. How was it hitting? Nobody is. People's like, damn, nigga
Thank
died
you.
in the episode. He died in real life, and he died in the episode. And it's like, okay, you bring on Shorty to be White Tiger. It's like, okay, cool. Now is she gonna be on some street level shit like Spider-Man, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Moon Knight,
Yeah,
all them
probably
niggas?
Young Avengers, possibly too.
Come on, bro, that shit ain't gonna make 500 million. They fucking around with you, characters.
Yeah. Hi, Alex. Is there a chance for a Daredevil Miss Marvel team up in the future? Not in the current spectrum of possibilities.
Miss Marvel, who?
Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Same one you thinking
Daredevil and
of.
Miss Marvel.
Nah, that's not happening.
All right. Since Cryptic recently teased Finn's return as Iron Fist, I'm very curious on his potential future, whether he'll simply be a mentor role for Lin Lee and Colleen, get a good amount of stuff in his own right, like Heroes for Hire and a Shang-Chi cameo, or maybe both. I've heard that Finn Jones would return Finn Jones' return would be as both hero and mentor. He'll still be Iron Fist, but he'll be looking for someone to replace him. The last I heard, they wanted Lin Lee.
Why? Wait, what? Huh? Why he gotta? Huh? This would be our first viewing of the character in the MCU. Why would the focus be? I'm introducing you in a role where you're looking for a replacement. Like I understand they like bring it over to Netflix stuff, but it's a lot of people that don't know about that. Just go back to that point D said before. Like, what about these viewers that don't know?
They're not holding hands no more. You just gonna have to get to it, and if you're not, then you'll have to go back in time. They're not holding. Marvel can't hold everybody's hand no more. That's the issue that they had before, and they was slowing.
Why he gotta go though? Like the Danny Rand.
I think he just wants to leave. I think they might also position him to his like Rand Enterprises. He can't necessarily be at the helm of his business. I'm pretty sure he did it in the comics, but he can't be at the helm of his
should
business.
just go get a
while being
new
Mr.
person.
Nugget.
Go get a new person. We in a reset anyways.
That's what they get Lin Lee.
No, why can't it just be Danny Rand?
Because
A new Danny Rand in a new universe, and just if he don't want to do it, Just hold off to the new universe with the reset, and we got a new Danny Rand, somebody who want to play the role.
Exactly.
Who knows? They might still have plans for him.
Come on, bro.
With the old defenders expected to return in the next few years, can we expect to see their old villains like Kilgrave, Davos, Diamondback, and Bushmaster to return as well? It is possible, but the one I've heard mainly is David Tennant as Kilgrave, which is the Purple Man from Jessica Jones, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because he's
Great
done a
fucking
lot of
movie.
different things in the comics, especially if they end up doing more with Doom. Doom actually has a really crazy story with the Purple Man. So I wouldn't be mad if they brought that character over, even though that character is a vile person.
Great villain. Is there any Guardians of the Galaxy? Is there any possibility of a solo project or new franchise? Annihilators question mark in Star Lord's future, or will his story continue only in event movies? There is. I've commented on it before. I can't remember what he said. Will we see the Guardians in Doomsday or be saved for Secret Wars? We haven't heard about them in any leaks, so I was curious. I think they kind of forgot about them. No lie. That's what Alex said. Hulk.
Who is that?
Somebody asked about the Guardians in Doomsday and Secret Wars.
Oh yeah, they just
Yeah,
James Gunn can't do it no more. They gone.
Hulk. Hi, Alex Lizzie. the
So
Hulk,
serious though.
the Gray Hulk Beast version, Green Hulk, Savage Hulk, or Joe Fixit Hulk in suit. Which version will we see in Spider-Man Brand New Day and the Avengers movies, please? It's a Savage Hulk similar to the one from Age of Ultron when Wanda got in Banner's head. Shang-Chi. Are there still plans to make Shang-Chi 2? And if so, is Destin Daniel Cretton going to direct it? Yes and yes. Will Marvel go more into the history of the Ten Rings, the organization, at some point with like an animated show or something like Eyes of Wakanda?
Hey,
Marvel
Rob,
Studios, huh?
you lucky I was muted, but I was saying that you was happy about that one. You salivate over DDC all day.
Hey yo.
Crazy,
Bruh, as much
crazy
as this
statement.
man, like, oh,
Crazy statement.
please, he does such an amazing job. Oh, this, that, and the
Crazy
fifth.
statement.
Like, bruh, come on, son.
Has he not?
But, bruh, you go so hard for this
All
man.
right,
It's just
then.
ridiculous.
I don't want to hear shit. Niggas been banging on the chest about Sam Raimi and his Spider-Man movies for 20 years now. I don't want to hear that shit.
Rightfully so, though.
Rightfully so, and rightfully so for Destin Daniel Cretton. Wonder Man fire, Shang-Chi fire. Spider-Man, the shit that we've seen, especially with the new leaks that's been dropping recently, with the costumes for Tarantula.
Yeah, he doing solid. He is doing
that shit
solid.
fire.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Everything so far with his track record is like I want him to have more direction in the MCU. It seems better. If he's willing to take on more work, I'm okay with that.
All right. Oh, I'm sorry. Marvel Studios is interested in developing a Ten Rings project similar to Eyes of Wakanda. From an idea that I heard, though different from how Eyes of Wakanda was executed, they want to show how the organization has gone on through the ages and has influenced the events of the MCU from the very beginning. It would have had the organization interact with characters throughout history, including the Eternals, the Red Room, World War II, and modern MCU events.
Can I just say one thing off of that?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, there's no way the Eternals ain't coming back.
Oh, they are. They already got the Judgment Day thing that they're trying to do. Supposedly 3 projects that they're trying to release. They're trying to do Judgment Day, Civil War 2, and I can't remember that third one. I can't remember. Fuck.
So they are they gonna be in Doomsday or Secret Wars? Like
I don't
for
think
sure?
so. I think it's
How
easier.
the
I think it's easier for them not to be there.
Bro, they already is at. They wasn't at the last event.
Yeah.
Well, you know what though?
That's
In their defense, they don't be at a lot. Like a lot of crazy things happen in the comics, and they don't be there either. So, all right.
They don't, but it's like, bro, they introduced them in a way that was like, yo, they're gonna have a very crucial part to play within these next phases. And I
But
get
that might be the Celestials. That's where they come back into play.
I
Mutants
get they're
too.
going to be judged, but we're not getting that movie till like another 8 years from now.
Yeah.
At that
That's what I'm
point,
saying. You get an Angelina
at
Jolie.
that point, they're going to
No,
have to
you
recast them
they
other
recasting
niggas
them.
that was Eternals as some other people, and
Yeah.
we aren't.
Yeah, they
not
are.
gonna have
That's
any
going to be part of the
recollection,
reset.
But people aren't going to have any recollection of
Nope.
what that was.
The
So
movie
when you
came
say
out 20
reset-
years
When
ago.
you say reset, it's not going to be if they do another Eternals movie. It's not going to be Eternals 2 because you're resetting. That same shit going to still apply from Eternals 1 if we get an Eternals 2 from 8 years from now?
It might not. Again, they're picking. and
That's a
choosing
good
what
That's
question.
the thing. If
They're
they picking and choosing,
what
how can we get a
storylines.
Shang-Chi 2 if Shang-Chi 1 ain't going to apply to what went on in this?
It will
in this
apply
reset?
because they're gonna pick and choose which ones are gonna stay and which ones are gonna be rewritten.
I think choosing what happened in Shang-Chi 1 over what happened in Eternals is crazy because what happened in Eternals was really would have had the world going over some World War
they
III shit.
can still do the same thing, but now they have a pivotal piece, which is i.e. the mutants.
Oh God.
I think it's going to go more so like the comic book. That's what the reset for the Eternals would be.
Yeah.
Which is like not too far off. Like it is far off, but it's not. If you fixed it more or less to be more like the comic book, a lot of it, like where did Icarus get his name in the Eternals movie? Did they touch on that part?
I don't think so. It's a lot of shit that people upset about because they changed shit in the Eternals, which is another reason why I think they're going to reset their
Reset
whole
it
entire
and make
storyline
it more
and
like the
make it
original.
more comic book accurate because
Yeah.
it makes sense more when it's the comic book side.
So
That's
just
what I think.
essentially, D, to answer your question, the movie from would it be like 20 years ago at that point? Well, it doesn't matter. None of it counts. It's just pointless.
It is. They only did one. Not a lot of people really resonated with it that well. Marvel is going to be like, they're going to cut their losses and try again. But now you have other IPs that you can bring in with it. Not only do you have the Celestials, now you got the X-Men, now you got the
Yeah.
Avengers too. Like,
Which in hindsight, because it wasn't well received, yeah, to your point, if they run it back and make it more comic accurate and look at what complaints they had from the original one, like Eternals movie, that could hit.
and not hire
That could hit. I ain't gonna hold you.
to have the budget go crazy. You don't gotta hire them A-list actors. Don't bring, even though she did a great job, Angelina Jolie.
And that leads to a pathway for and that leads for a pathway back or for us to get Thanos back in the fray because Deviant went to the new planet. That whole thing,
And
reset universe.
You combine the Celestials. Now you got another pathway for Galactus to come back to fight the goddamn Fantastic Four and even Earth's Earth's heroes and everything like that.
But that's gonna be so. It's not gonna be a new Galactus.
No, I think it would be.
It would be.
I don't think
Because if the Celestials are getting involved, Galactus will have, I believe, at least.
Oh, but hold on.
You talking about the Galactus?
No,
from the
no,
first
he
X
right.
movie that they just sent to the other end of the fucking
No,
universe?
D,
know.
it wouldn't be a new Galactus because if I'm not mistaken, isn't Galactus a constant in the MCU, like across
They
universes?
didn't in the
No,
MCU,
he's
they
what do you mean a
haven't
constant?
Not MCU, excuse me. In the Marvel comics, isn't
Marvel
Galactus?
comics, I don't think
Is there
it's
another
multiversal
Galactus in each
MCU.
universe?
I thought there was.
I don't know.
I thought there
There's
was one.
something. And maybe it's the Celestials I'm thinking of, but there's supposed to be some being like of Galactus or Celestial level that is a constant. Maybe I'm just thinking of Phoenix. I know the Phoenix
the
it
status of
is.
Galactus across the multiverse is generally considered to be one unique entity who exists across all realities rather than
Yeah.
having different variants for every universe.
So it'd be the same Galactus.
Yeah, and the same Silver Surfer.
Maybe not.
So
Maybe not.
you saying maybe not, but if you have one Galactus
Mm-hmm.
and you start off with the Shala Ball and she wronged him, she's going to be with
That's
him.
before the reset. But that's the thing. That's before the reset. If the reset applies to Galactus too, that's a lesser being. There's not one constant Silver Surfer. In this reset, the reset could be instead of him going to Shia LaBeouf's world or doing the whole thing with her,
He can still
he's
go to
doing it
Colorado.
with
He just gets Norn Rat instead.
yeah, instead. Because it's like, remember, timelines and stuff is all mixed into this whole multiversal reset, i.e., TVA.
So do y'all
So,
see people's problems with shit like this? Because you bring in a
oh,
Shia
it's
LaBeouf.
confusing.
I'm
It's
saying
confusing.
you bring in the Shia LaBeouf who's had a few panels in the comics. Niggas, gun to our heads, we can't name one Shia LaBeouf feat, one Shia
No,
LaBeouf comic issue. Now, I didn't have a problem with it in the movies, cool. But you got people that have been reading comics for the better part of 40, 50 years since they was kids. So when you do this and say, you know what, we got Shia LaBeouf for the movie, and then we're gonna recast it because we're gonna reset the universe. So it was really the intention behind it was just to fulfill a requirement. So it really didn't make sense to do it because if Galactus is constant across the multiverse, and you're gonna use the same Galactus and use the same design and everything, you could have just used Norrin Rad. You could
I
have just
don't
had
think
this shit
so.
from the
I get what you're saying in
I
that.
don't think
It's
so
like a
because
simple
if the
slap in the
story
face.
goes if the story goes forward with Norrin, there's no way Norrin Rad is staying the Silver Surfer after the events of Fantastic Four, the first steps. There's no way Galactus is keeping him as his herald after he was betrayed that much. He would just go and get another herald, and then therefore nobody would really be introduced. I mean, interested in Norrin Rad outside of like an Annihilus conversation. But now you have the opportunity. Now you can actually bring back Galactus, have him get his comic book storyline with Norrin Rad. Now you could be able to flesh that out even more so, and even have him come in with an Annihilus or anything like that. If he goes against Galactus, now he has an opportunity to meet other heroes as well to be able to still keep his relevance and not just have wasted Norrin Rad in a Fantastic Four First Steps film that's not even in the main MCU story. You feel me? It's no point to bring in Norrin Rad if we're not talking about the main MCU storyline.
why isn't this the main MCU story?
Fantastic Four First Steps was not the main MCU storyline, is what I'm saying.
Then, but they're coming into,
They're
but
coming into the main MCU storyline.
But I'm
They were
saying their
apart
story
from it.
has an impact on the main MCU storyline because of
Technic-
Franklin. Because I get it's a different universe, but they're still in the
that's
same.
It's
that's
still within that
that's it,
same.
though. That's it though. It's only Franklin.
But the other thing is too is maybe it'd just be easier to introduce Norrin Rad because you having the reset too. Like just the simple fact of that is like we didn't want to have another character that's new introduced to you that has to go through the reset because like Thunderbolts will definitely make the reset. Like a lot of the newer characters, Miss Marvel will make the reset, but you probably don't want a newer character to not make the reset again because of the conditions that kind of come with Galactus. Galactus will make the reset. Fantastic Four will make the reset, but you don't like.
We can even have it compelling enough where if
I mean, because you could just have Silver Surfer also make the reset, and then that still is null and void to the idea. Why couldn't you have Norrin Rad?
we could. I think
It
they
doesn't
just
really
wanted-
do
They
anything.
wanted to provide, I guess, a more of a compelling storyline because now Galactus could go back to Shia LaBeouf's fucking world, and if that baby that she had there was a boy, or
It was
if
a
she
girl.
had a significant other, it was a girl. If she
Yeah.
had her significant other, now Galactus is like Shia LaBeouf, you disrespecting me. 100 lashings, Dr. Umar style, and I'm gonna go to your home world and I'm gonna take your most prized possession or beloved possession, which could potentially be your husband, and I'm gonna make him my fucking person now.
But that's the
I
thing.
don't even think that's necessary with the
Not
reset.
necessary, but at the same time, it was like in the movie they showed her with one little girl, and then it didn't show anybody else on that planet. It was like
Yeah.
not there wasn't a compelling enough story for him to be like, you know what, I'm gonna go back because he showed up. It was just them two. He didn't. It
Yeah.
wasn't nobody else around. He can't just be like, oh, I found your husband. I'll make him my hero. It's like that shit seems like it's beneath Galactus
And that's-
to go back and find somebody's husband to make them a
He's
hero.
gonna be petty.
Bro, if I'm
think
going
you
to
just
be a
get
world
rid of
leader,
it.
I'm going to find somebody else to be one of my heralds, bro. If I could just
Yeah, I think it's even simpler than that. You just
if I can
you
imbue
reset
anybody
it.
with the power cosmic and they're still not going to be on my level, I'm going to find anybody. I'm not going to go across universes knowing that I'm starving and hungry. Because if I wanted to be petty and you did that, I would just destroy your whole world.
Also,
I think you just reset it. I think you just say it's
the
even
reset is
Galactus was
easier.
affected.
Yeah, just reset it for real.
because then they'll have the opportunity to have the history of all the other heralds of Galactus, like Firestarter and
And then it just
With
be little
hindsight and
twists
all
too.
that.
That's the other thing too. Is I think the reset for as many things as they can make the reset be like little tweaks would be probably helpful. So like in the case of Silver Surfer, instead of it being her, it was her husband. Even if we don't see him or anything like that, it was he could have been the last survivor with a daughter. Just like a little tweak. Maybe even the little tweaks can just be around more powerful characters. Like in this version, if by all indications, it doesn't look like Franklin has a sister. At least, like she could, but they also could go forward with this side of the reset, the one that we're currently on, with him just being the child that was born and such. Whereas in the reset, again, because he's a more powerful character, it's just a little tweak to him, to where instead of before where he didn't have a sister, now he does. Like little, like where you can introduce little tweaks, I think will help. It'll help make things a little bit easier to process for the characters at least that we know coming back. So, you know, two again, incredibly powerful characters in Galactus and in Franklin Richards. Oh, Doom couldn't have as much of an impact on them, so their changes are just little things. Bigger characters, yeah, but see, no, then that's gonna get tricky. Cause again, like if Doom or if Thor don't make the reset, what we saying? Thor wasn't a strong enough character.
Thor's
Thor's a
making
pretty
it.
powerful character.
Thor's making it. But I
They
think
about to
even
kill that nigga. What you talking about? They killing Thor.
nah, they keeping them. Even
Bro, like I said, when I figure in Chris Hemsworth's like personal life, I would not say either yes or no.
They're
I
killing
think
Thor.
I think the ending of the multiverse too. I think the Celestials would not have their memories in regards to the previous universes, because I think that multiversal swap and the incursions would just be too powerful, even beyond the idea and scope of like
It gives us celestial amnesia.
yeah. So that could also work in
Yo, I'm
into
not
account.
about to hear.
We about
You
to
was not
put
about to.
D.
You was not about to tell me you Doctor
Yeah.
Doom wiped the memory of the Celestials and not Reed Richards and
I
Franklin.
think the Celestials would be because in the Secret Wars in the comics in Jonathan Hickman's the Celestials was killed, murked by the Beyonders. We could essentially just like we had what's his face? Damn. Galactus ship in the sky and we were seeing the Latvarian chair and we weren't seeing Doctor Doom. Obviously he was preoccupied somewhere. He could have been repurposing that celestial tech. He could have been trying to find the word of God. And if the description for the word of God was how it was, he can reshape reality how he fits. He could take out the celestials in one fell swoop. That's how powerful it seems. So I think that could be the smartest route to get them out of here, so that they don't have to worry about the questions. Oh, what about the Celestials? Oh, what about all of these people that happened in Galactus? What happened with his shit with the Fantastic Four? All of that jazz. I think that'll just be their easier way.
Like I said, it's gonna be hard to
Yeah.
figure out. This is
Um,
not gonna be like I'm not saying they not up to the task, but this is gonna have to be some of the best writing from
best,
Marvel. Period.
best action, best editing, best everything. Um, All right, somebody else asked. I was wondering whether you could tell us what other characters Marvel wants Spider-Man to team up with slash interact with aside from the Daredevil stuff in the next saga. Thank you for your time. Blah blah blah. Alex, this is very early, but Deadpool is the top one thrown around. The logistics aren't impossible, but very tricky and difficult given the current nature of Sony's deal. But if anyone could pull it off, it's Ryan Reynolds. Mephisto is another character. I can already hear the fans screaming now. And there's one more character who pops up in Spider-Man Brand New Day whose role I hope remains at the level of the Tinkerer in Spider-Man Homecoming, because if it goes even remotely close to a certain Spider-Man storyline from the 90s, which Spidey fans have dubbed the worst storyline saga ever, we might start seeing double. Um, is there a chance Tom Holland's Spider-Man could interact with Deadpool? He already answered that. It's been said that there's going to be various other villains in Brand New Day than the ones reported. Does this mean that they'll be a part of the potential opening montage for the film to establish Spider-Man's road galleries over the years since we last saw him? Seems as though Peter has made quite some enemies since No Way Home. If so, something like that. Most of them are literally very niche B or C ranked villains from the comics. This film really has the record for the most Spider-Man villains in one movie. There are about 9 villains from his rogue gallery here. God damn. Hi Alex.
In this upcoming movie,
Yep.
9 niggas.
bruh.
They're not. All right. Before
My
y'all
thing is
go,
this,
all right,
I'm gonna say before you keep going, they really gonna have to do a lot for this movie for 9 villains from his
before
rogue.
y'all come to the conclusions, they're doing.
I'm not coming to no
montage.
conclusion.
Hold
I'm
on,
just saying
hold on,
I just
hold on,
need them to
hold
come
on.
correct if they're going to do this. That's all I'm saying.
They're doing a montage for most of them, which was just stated in the response I just read. Just like they did a montage for some of the Fantastic Four villains in the beginning. Obviously, niggas is not getting a full. I don't think. Probably Tarantula more so than anything, but we're not getting a full fledged storyline for some B and C list villains. They're doing a montage to show what Spider Man's been up to all this time, and then they're gonna go from there, just like Fantastic Four First Steps. It's not gonna be 9 main villains that they got to deal with for the whole movie. All right, that's good.
I hope
That's
they don't
cool.
do that for. I hope they don't do it for a villain that is important though.
No, that's fine. It's just fine because they could do a sequence where it's like we just trying to show Peter was really locked in. More threats kind of came his way in that time, and then you got things like the hand where it's actually like really shown out and
But my thing is, what if that
Scorpion.
montage is that hand scene?
Nah,
Hell.
nah,
That was
they're
just a
not
trailer.
doing that.
That
They're not doing
I
that.
feel like they're not doing it because the hand also comes into effect with
You
Devil's
ain't
Reign
bring.
too, right? Or am I bugging?
they come in effect. What, Rob?
Does the hand play a pivotal role in Devil's Reign storyline?
No clue.
I don't think so.
I
But
think-
obviously in Daredevil, so
Yeah.
it's still at any
They're
point
supposed
you
to
could
be-
get
they're
them in
supposed to be
Daredevil.
season 3 too.
No, I don't
So,
think the hand
yeah.
would be the hand wouldn't be no montage. I don't think.
No,
I think-
you ain't get Jackie Chan's crew.
Would it disappoint you if it was though?
Yes,
Not really. Knowing that
no,
they're
it
using
would.
them
For me, it would.
they're using them.
You
for
what you
season
get
3.
Jackie Chan's whole team for? If not the
Nigga,
throw
Jackie
hands
Chan
with
don't
the.
mean he have to only do ninjas.
Yeah.
You racist fuck.
I'm not saying that, but that's not what I was saying.
That is
The
what
point
you're
is
saying.
no, it's not. It's just when I'm thinking of like somebody training you for hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
Isn't it best to show that off with something like the hand?
Nigga, no. If
Spider-Man.
he's fighting Scorpion or fighting Tombstone,
Hulk?
Jackie Chan, it's stunt work. So it's gonna be his team's gonna be stunt work. That doesn't mean they're gonna be in there with Shaolin shoes on, coming from the dojo to fight Spider-Man.
What the hand that is your equivalent of Shaolin Dojo.
Niall interviewing for Nerdrotic over here.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I think they could pull it off with the montage because there's already been rumblings.
I mean, it could
Hand
be
is being
one.
prevalent in Daredevil season 3, and we already
So it's like a sneak peek.
with this Q&A. Exactly with this
Okay.
with this Q&A too. We've seen that Marvel was potentially interested in going over the history of the hand, and then on top of that, we have the Devil's Reign comics, which, if it comes out, Peter was fighting all these villains, and Wilson Fisk was sending these villains his way. Now we have an opportunity for Peter, all of the Defenders, and everything like that to face off against the Hand, and essentially Kingpin in their big team up film too. So either they could be trickling a little bit of breadcrumbs in a montage, or they could be trickling a lot of breadcrumbs throughout the movie. Regardless, it's still gonna be trickling breadcrumbs. Nobody assumes that the Hand will be the main villain or even the biggest villain in this movie.
I will say this though, the idea of it being a montage, I kind of do like that though, because it does feel like a huge, like what we've been asking for is a huge shift in Peter Parker, and that feels like if he's been preoccupied being Spider-Man, it makes me feel more confident that some of the aesthetics that we've had, most notably the aesthetic that you hate, where we're having so much of a focus on the side characters in Peter's life, it makes me feel like that's not necessarily the case. Like I'm almost getting confirmation in that by knowing that he's been doing a lot of work as Spider-Man. It seems like a very Spider-Man focused film.
Mm-hmm. All
That'd
right.
be nice. It's gonna be that. I do think that. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to get out of having preconceived notions towards superhero stuff, because like Wonder Man kind of was like the nail in the coffin for me with that, because I was like, Wonder Man about to be some trash, and it was really good. So I'm trying not to. So I'm not going to say that it for sure is going to be a really good movie, but I mean, everything that I've been hearing about it is not really disappointed.
Mm-hmm. All right, to continue with the Spider-Man news. Rumors of Caleb McLaughlin playing Miles Morales. Alex
Yeah,
Perez
they
says
had that whole thing.
That
he
man
has
been doing spin jutsu classes.
Alex Perez says he has no updates on live action Miles. Um, Hi, Alex and Lizzie. Glad to be a new member. Will Tombstone be pushing some sort of drug that has a big impact in Spider-Man Brand New Day? Alex Perez, no.
That's a good question. That suck.
Um,
That doesn't suck, but that would be an interesting. Because didn't we learn in Kingpin that something is going around? Or excuse me, in Daredevil that something is going around?
I don't think so.
I swear I thought that there was some drug or something.
I could be wrong.
Maybe I'm wrong. I could be mixing series up.
Hey, Alex, one character I'm surprised we haven't heard more about in the lead up to Brand New Day is JJJ. Do you know if J.K. Simmons will be returning for Brand New Day?
Oh, that's a good question.
I've heard that JJJ will be returning for Brand New Day. There were also some rumors about Andrea Rice returning as Betty Brant. She was one of Peter's classmates at Midtown in the first trilogy of Spider-Man. Betty Brant working under JJJ in the Daily Bugle, and the idea of introducing Robbie Robertson as well, but nothing as of yet. Another one is we saw recently rumors that Sony is more open to sharing characters with Marvel. Will Spider-Man and Spider-Man characters be able to show
That's
up
the
in more
big one.
projects? Alex Perez, it is a possibility. Mainly it's the film rights because TV is still at a standstill and Sony refuses to budge on that. Bitch ass niggas. Vision Quest. Will Daisy Johnson be in Vision
We will
Quest?
never get sponsored with your slight remarks.
Will Daisy Johnson be in Vision Quest? Is that a safe bet at this point, or is it still very up in the air? No, the connection to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has to do with AI. Wonder Man. Hi, Alex and Lizzie, which we talked
What,
about this.
just a, just a quick question off that last one.
Uh-huh.
Did y'all hear about this whole thing with Rosario Dawson's character from Daredevil being in Spider-Man?
Spider-Man
Yeah,
potentially.
nigga, that's why the hand getting to him.
Yeah. It's
We did say that.
supposedly people were speculating. I think I was watching a YouTube video. If she's being placed in there and she's being introduced, it means somebody has to have gotten their ass whooped profusely. And I think that person is gonna be Spider Peter Parker
Yes.
May.
The
And
hand is
if-
gonna get to that nigga.
Rosario Dawson is introduced in this, it's more compelling to show Daredevil and Spider-Man will be teaming up a lot sooner than we expected. And I think that's what a lot of people is very, very, very interested in looking forward to.
What if they team up in this movie? Nah, that'd be because we already know Punisher gonna be in this joint. But if Daredevil and
That'd be crazy. They held off any rumors of that.
That'd
I
be
mean, we ain't heard shit from the movie. All this talk about Sadie
That's
Sink.
true.
They be
They
keeping
probably
it
like,
low
look,
key.
as you filming Daredevil season 2, film this scene real quick with this little CGI stunt double joint. Boom.
They could just have
That'd
a
be
body
crazy.
double. They could just have a body double. For
And
that
they
movie.
already know each other.
Facts.
I mean, he might not know him as Peter Parker. He might not. Well, he knows
Spider-Man.
they introduced each other. Yeah, he knows Spider-Man.
Somebody like Daredevil, he could probably he does have a lot of clients, I guess, but he could probably recognize his voice.
Yeah,
Oh
honestly,
shit.
he'd be like, "Wait a minute, wait a minute."
But I think that he wouldn't even recognize it because technically he would have forgotten to even have met Peter Parker because Peter Parker doesn't
Facts.
exist
Forgot about
anymore.
that.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
he wouldn't have known. Wonder Man. Alex Perez, given his positive reception, expect a second season for Simon Williams. Another W for DDC. Could Doorman still be a mutant that had his powers activated by the Dark Force, Roxxon, in a way similar to Kamala and the Bengal? Alex Perez, yes. X-Men. It's clear that God bless you. It's
Thank you.
it's clear that mutants will be a major focus of the next saga and will be involved in several projects. How often do you expect us to visit Xavier's in the coming phases? Is it something that we should expect to be mostly relegated to the primary X-Men films and a few cameos in other films, or is it fair to expect a Disney Plus series in which the school will actually be the primary setting? At the moment, you've got
That's a
the
good
X-Men
question.
film and X-Men 97 to look forward to. Nothing else I can provide information on at this time.
That's one of those either ors is fine kind of thing. You know, if they wanted to focus on more abstract, younger X Men that are, you know, like newly introduced to the to the house, that would be fine as a TV show. But if they just left it where it's more of an explorative series where you use X Men and delegate just the big house to the movies, I feel like that would be fine too.
All right. Last couple questions. People are asking about the schedule, the release schedule for rumored films in the next phase. Alex
No way
Perez
we
still
know
doesn't
that.
even know. Yeah, Alex
Yeah.
doesn't even know that. Will Marvel Television be more involved with telling a connected story to the MCU and reset for the next saga? Alex Perez, still more of the same, to be honest.
That's kind of not. I don't know how I feel about that.
I think because obviously, if they're talking about Devil's Reign, they're gonna have to have the storylines coincide with the TV shows.
Yeah.
So I think that they're still, like they were saying, more or less of the same. Where they're gonna use some TV shows to be able to, like what's the sorcerer? What's the sorcerer thing that y'all were talking about? The Academy of Sorcerers.
Yeah, Strange Academy.
Strange Academy, which could, I guess, potentially go into a Mephisto storyline or open up the doors more so for the supernatural side for the Mephisto big bad at the end of the day. So I think they're gonna still do more or less of the same. But that's it for the Alex Perez joint, and I just realized we're 2 hours in this thing.
Hell
God
yeah.
damn,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
it's about that
Close to
time.
2.5.
Real quick, another slew of honorable mentions since we're not going to get to it. Marvel Comics announced a 10-issue series called Doom Quest from writer Ryan North, who's actually been at the helm of the most recent Fantastic Four storylines. I heard pretty good things about that. And artist Francisco Mobili. Fallout Season 2 is done. We'll probably do something next episode because we ain't got no time. GTA 6 has been officially verified. It is not delayed again. It is releasing later on this year. Marketing will kick off this summer for that. And Insomniac Games allegedly teased Daredevil potentially being Easter egged in the new Wolverine game, or a potential of Daredevil being introduced in a Spider-Man game. As you didn't know, if you didn't know, Insomniac Games does have Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2. I believe in Spider-Man 2, Nelson and Murdoch, their law office was, what's the word? Was accessible, not internally, but you can see Nelson and Murdoch, the sign on the outside of the building. So supposedly they are canon. Matt Murdock, specifically Daredevil, canon to the Spider-Man Insomniac Marvel universe. So very interesting news on
That'd
that.
be fire if we could get a game.
Go from
I
Wolverine to
like
Daredevil.
yeah,
Supposedly
especially
too, the Venom solo game is still coming out.
Huh?
The Venom solo game supposedly is still coming out.
That shit should have came out when the movie came out. When did the movie come
They
out?
got leaked. Hell no.
2018?
This is more so for the Insomniac universe.
Oh,
oh,
shit.
if they did like a no DLC,
People were saying that they're gonna put the Carnage storyline in the Spider-Man 3 game, so that Peter will be able to have to deal with that, and they're gonna have a solo Venom film. It could be crazy. And then you getting in the Web of Shadows type shit. If you include Wolverine and he get the symbiote like in Web of Shadows, ooh wee!
They should just remaster that joint.
Ooh, they should. They should. Great Spider-Man game if you've never played that. Probably one of the greatest. I ain't gonna lie.
For a fact.
But that is
yo, if
about
that
it.
Wolverine game is successful though, and we were to get a standalone Daredevil game from Insomniac,
Bro, I feel like they building out a street level universe for these games, man. Because I think Wolverine is gonna be a dope game. For sure.
bruh. And that's like the test too, because it's like if you got a dude that's grounded and they get all of those mechanics correct, and then you turn around and it's a success, and then you say, okay, yeah, we're gonna do Daredevil with that martial arts,
He
all of
can,
the
he can
ooh,
even just be introduced, kind
like
of like the
bro,
other characters from Spider-Man 2. I can't remember her name, but it was a shawty who used to be a police officer, but then she turned into a vigilante. I can't remember her name.
Black Cat? I don't think that's what you're talking about though.
She was a police officer in Spider-Man 1, and then something dramatic or something happened either in Spider-Man 1 or Spider-Man Miles Morales, and then she became a vigilante. I really can't remember her name. But you helped her fight against the Carnage's people before he became the Carnage, or before he got access to the Venom. The
I
Venom
have no
symbiote.
clue.
Or the
Yeah, I have
symbiote.
no clue.
Also, just to reiterate, when we got that leak for Insomniac, they got Marvel Spider-Man 3 was supposedly set to release fall 2028. Wolverine was set to release fall 2026. God damn. Venom
Yeah,
was supposed to release in fall 2025. Obviously, that got pushed back. But they also had a Marvel's X-Men game supposedly dropping
yeah,
in
I remember
fall
that.
2030. So I don't even think they'll have the time to do a Daredevil. They might have some Easter eggs. You might fight alongside him. But I think their
2030.
Hey,
main
yeah, at least let me see. Like, give me a little
yeah,
tease though of what that's like.
yeah. I think their main focus though, if I'm them, especially with how Marvel is, the MCU is moving, X-Men. Todd,
Yo, you imagine for
massive
Daredevil
fucking
though?
X-Men.
Hold on, time out. Though. I agree. I don't disagree with that. But like, because if you could pull off X Men, oh, you could do anything at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Daredevil would be
but
crazy though.
ooh, if they did Daredevil and then it
Batman
had like
Arkham
his
fighting
vision,
system.
Yeah,
like you know how he don't got vision, but you know how he got that little like little red world, little red world thing going on.
Bat
You go into the little red world.
TVMA rated R, whatever it is. Make that joint that have ooh Batman Arkham fighting system.
Bruh.
Bring in a character like Muse and actually
But
do
like
him justice.
again, inside with that, but with the insomniac like tenacity, right, right. You see what I'm, bro.
It'd be
That's why,
crazy.
that's why I'm really glad that they still doing the Wolverine thing because it's like, okay, let me see what literally the grounded characters is like, and like what the fighting style is that you do. Because with Spider Man, I mean, you do have like you have acrobatics though. You know what I mean? You have fighting, but you have swinging and acrobatics. Let me see what like just on the ground what the physics and the mechanics is like with that with another like with a totally opposite type of character. And then if that's successful and you start bringing it in with characters with a little more finesse because like Wolverine is also like a brute but not, so it's like that might actually save them in a couple of ways. But the characters like Black Panther, the characters like Captain America, the character like Daredevil, it's like let me see how far you really are like pushing out these mechanics, bro. Because like I mean, just hear me out. Like with Wolverine, if it's something where it's on the level of like even a Kratos in a God of War, where it's kind of brute, but it's still like fighting and movement and it works. Now, oh my god, bruh. I remember when I played Arkham Asylum, and you know how for the block they had like the kind of fluid you could go in any direction with multiple enemies around you.
That
I
was
was
the
so
first
impressed by that, and in 2026, I'm like, that's nothing. So if you go from that kind of mechanical system and you evolve it into whatever is supposed to come next, and you add on to that just again that tediousness that Insomniac has, I might want to see a Shang-Chi game. I might like it's no bounds to what type of game
Don't know nothing
I
about
will want to
it.
see. All right, brother. Yeah, we gotta wrap up anyways.
All
It's
right.
getting late.
All right, yeah, that's it. Anybody else got anything else?
Nah.
sir.
Alrighty then. To end it off, Majestic, known leaker, said that they think that Spider-Man will actually be getting the symbiote at the end of Spider-Man Brand New Day. Tune in next week to know how to see how we feel about that. So we can expound upon that. We don't know if it's real or not. It's just still a leak. But we appreciate y'all yet again for stopping on by. We appreciate you. You too, Spam. Total Roadway. D Nutsy 54 RHB. We appreciate you too for spamming in our comments. But again, make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure y'all commenting on our stuff. If y'all disagree with us, we will respond back to you. Be able to go back and forth and what have you, or even just agree to disagree. We always appreciate the love that y'all bring for us or to the table. We should start inviting some of our fans on here. That would be pretty dope, I think, in the future.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Thing. But again, we appreciate y'all yet again. We're going to get up out of here. We'll catch y'all next week, barring any crazy shenanigans going on. Y'all have a good rest of y'all week. Peace.
I'm about to head. I got to walk this dog, yo.
Walk a dog? Who dog? Oh, you in
I'm watching Mariah's dog for like 2 weeks.
Oh, damn.
She moving. Her and her boyfriend went to a bigger spot in Dallas. Her dog always in the way. So I'll watch it.
Damn, you drove to Dallas to come all the way back?
No, she came to Houston for my football party. I bought the dog that way, yeah. You're so about to walk around.
To stop these dreams on the road to riches, focus on the ticket, maximize my means. It's like now I'm just trying to flow. There's a couple holes up in this boat. Dose my mind just so I can grow. They focus on the dollar, feel like I'm a migrant, just touch a new island. Every time I smoke, regardless, ain't no way I'ma miss my target when I got it locked up in my scope.
Watch out for the snakes in the grass.
There it is.